Hello, Doomslayers. It is I, Tradespotting. Or, as some people know me, Jamie, your internet buddy. And you, my friend, are the person who has or is about to click the like button to help this channel grow and more holders of GME hear about it. Because, of course, if you are a holder of GME, where else would you rather be right now than right here? And of course, the fact that there aren't the 70 million GME holders who live in Germany alone tuned in right now makes me think that just not enough people have heard about Tradespotting. So once again, I make an impassioned plea to you, my friend, to click that like button. Maybe click that share button. And I shall be redoubling my efforts from next week. I shall do a 10-minute GME, what we can expect today, TA clip that'll go out before markets open. I'll do a 10 to 15 minute market close clip that'll go out just after markets close, and I'll stream live for at least 2 hours during market open all day, every day. And Rocky shall be doing exactly the same. So next week, the content levels are going to double again and change format to an even more digestible, shareable, viral form that suits you guys. It's built around you. Whoop! Up goes the volume. That's my volume. Let's see what the actual volume's doing, shall we? Volume. That one, please. Thank you very much, Mr. TradingView. Well, look at that. What does it say? In the last 55 minutes, let's take that to 15 minutes and get a better picture of things, shall we? Ha, a better picture, he says. He says, so he does. Well, we're not getting much. Tradespotting, what time are you going to be on then? What time? Well, what time would suit you, my lords? What time would suit you? What time would suit all of you guys in the audience? Obviously, the market open and market close streams being like not live videos, like make them bam, 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 there's your information type of thing. Obviously, I'll film them in one go and that. But, you know, it'll be designed around that kind of thing. So, but what, this is the line we need to break, by the way. But what would suit you? What time? Job, $4.99. Thank you very much, Job. It's appreciated. Tradespotting, chart's not working. Oh my goodness, your chart's not working, Tradespotting. Yeah, you're right. How did you know my chart isn't working? I'm moving it and it's not moving. How did you know that? For goodness sake. Now my things are all trapped behind things and whatnot. This is annoying now. Pardon me. Aha, chart's working now, and we're above that line I was talking about. Excellent, excellent. All good. Guess close, piss off, more like it, right? Excellent, excellent. No, not you. It's the window I didn't want. Ha ha. Yes, Victor, don't call me Shirley. 155 spot 32, and what did we say? Well, we said it would be nice to get 156 spot 50. It would be lovely, frickin' jubbly. And there it is, just there, in line with our linear progression on the top side. 1, 2, 3, there we are, folks. 180 coming up after that. Tradespotting. Price remains unreasonable, doesn't it just? And now that is why it's so very suitable too, because you, my friend, are one hell of an unreasonable bastard. And Don't I just love you for it? Probably the wrong display capture. Well, yes. Window capture, wouldn't it? And that's what they call it in the Streamlabs menus, also known as the business. Hulk just unzipped. Ho! Wallop! Whatever time is best for you, Jamie. GME is best for me. I love having Robbie to open and you to close. I love when Jamie says, excellent. We're here. Yep, Bird Bear's here. Boom. We're pushing. Pussy. 155.86 is where you're likely to see a little dinky donk. And if it opens and closes there, let's give it 15 minutes because shit's a bit to kick off. Then, whoa, excellent. Now, a lot of silly people out there in the greater world doubt the things I say. They don't understand the implications of me allowing a thought with regards to price action to turn into words in my mouth and then escape and reach their ears. They think that it is some trivial event. They couldn't be further from the truth. And speaking of the truth, I am a direct line to it. Which is why, like I say, if you hold GME, why the fuck would you spend your time anywhere else? I could say, and it's true, I appreciate every minute you spend with me. New member! Woo! Thank you very much and welcome, IRM. That is appreciated. IRM. Who knows how you pronounce that? For some reason, it could be so many ways. Thank you very much. Welcome to the family. Yes, so this is a direct line to the truth, and that truth, my friends, is a series of steps that we're going to take. And on the way, we'll have a lot of fun, laughing and a joking, and a chuckling and a joshing. I'm not very religious. I might buy a carpet just to pray to Tradespotting. Lameow for Jamie! Well, no, don't direct your prayers to me, my friend. My very good friend. Look at us at 156. That is fucking awesome, by the way. To see us here after all that pish is awesome. And people will think, yeah, but you haven't broken our support resistance. Like, hey, we haven't broken support resistance. But you see that yellow line? Mother fudders. You see it? That is the 236. The holy 236. Da-da! Welcome, friend. Welcome. Look at all those welcomes you're getting now, Aaron. Very big welcomes. Warm welcomes, too. Whoa, look at that. Big green crayon says, dinky do. I don't mind if I do. We don't mind, also, if prices decide to consolidate here for a second. We can take that. At the minute. Tradespotting. I saw multiple posts on Superstonks. Mucho liked too, commenting and shouting out to you and Rocky. Mods may not like you, but the people speak volumes. Look forward to the double down. Double down. Well, as happens, since all of the runic glory happened, I was like a bit of a wash, you know. It was good. A lot of people got in touch with me, and also, you know, I assume it's like surveys. You know, if I get 10 messages from people who've got themselves a lot of respect in the community and are highly regarded on Superstonk, and some of them are moderators there, if they send me private messages and say things like, yo, and nice to see you, and Joe, I've heard of you, you're this guy, and are reaching out and being nice, then I assume that that's representative of a greater community of people who feel the same way but don't say anything. And so I think everything's cool over there now. Pretty sure that's all good. And I think it's been taken the wrong direction previously, and now they're very much corrected course and going in the right direction, and the people there deserve great credit for the work they've done. Dog, I found Tradespotting through Superstonk. Well, there you go. The tide has churned to froth. Look at us, 156.48. Boom. That's fantastic. It really is. Oh, it's a donation. What does the donation say? Let's read it, Jamie. Let's read the donation. Daniel, I'd like to put in an application as a high cultist, responsible for conversions and punishments of the converted, tasked with spreading the truth of GME and the holy stonk puppet. Well, Daniel, I think that can be arranged. Daniel, where you want to be that high cultist? Where are you, Daniel? Let me see your name in the chats there. Where is it? There's Luke Spears with the rockets. That's nice. There's some nice. Daniel, how do I anoint you as the high cultist? How do I do that? How do I go around about how would I go about doing that? I have no idea. How do I do it? Bing. You now have a spanner and are a melod. You are a melod of the round table. A melodians and a moderating person. And bing, I've just added Luke Spears, who's also a hero around these parts. Daniel and Luke, 2 heroes, have been anointed knights of Melod's table, and against their will, without actual request, it's been upon them. It has been placed upon them without them even knowing. It is, in fact, you don't know, Luke or Daniel, you don't know, but you have actually performed this role many times throughout time. And this is just that story repeating itself again. So now Daniel and Luke, who didn't even mention it and certainly isn't asked for it, you have been anointed as moderators. Can I be Sir Lancelot, Tradespotting? Oh, you see, now it's just getting like this. You know, this is just getting like crazy now, isn't it? It's just getting crazy now, isn't it? But David P. Everybody has to perform a specific role, right? This is what we're going to cut the line here. And David P., you're next in line, right? That's the cue where it begins, behind David. And this is what I've said before, and I'll say it again. I would like it if all the moderators, now even if you didn't ask for it, tough luck. Sorry, not sorry. That was very genuine, that not sorry part of that. Congrats, Sir Knights of the Doomslayings. And there are, this is no way a sign of favoritism. In fact, I am bestowing you with great responsibility. Between now and when we're all high-fiving on the moon, I would love it, absolutely love it, if, and I know both of you do already, there's 2 new additions to the round table, if you would contribute to helping other people empower themselves, however that might be, even if it's not related to this channel or this audience, if that was something you thought about and did 1 act towards every day, that would be fantastic. And I imagine, you get into the swing of things, it'd be less than a year before you'd done it for 1,000 people. And that is the responsibility that now rests upon your very wide shoulders. You have great example to follow. Force H. Jones to join. She is now in the queue as well, whether she likes it or not. But that lot queue starts, David H. Jones, and on many other people whose names I've seen flash past in the recent conversation, and others who might not even be here right now, but still are very close. It's a great responsibility and putting on your shoulders to help other people, and I know that both of you do in the odd time when it occurs to you to have that thought and do that, and it happens very frequently here in chat. And so it really is just keep up the good work is what I really mean. But also anything you do over and above what you might normally do, well, I'm going to take all the credit for that. Rest assured, my lords of the round table, I equally take all of the credits for what you do. So a great example of this is Case, who has been doing chapters like he's been in the engine room, shoveling and flaming the coals and basking in the heat. Just like home, right? He's been doing it, and he keeps doing it, and now he's stuck. He'll never be able to stop. And this is the same place I'd like to trap all of you guys. So please fall into that trap, as Frostcrest and Case have already done. And Malud Buckcheeks is coming back to redouble his efforts whenever he gets out of his bed. Scratcher. Help, H. Jones. There is no help. There is no help. You have to be the help. Good, Sir JB. I do believe AMC is upon the squeezeth. The squeezeth is coming. Oh, what's that coming over the hill? It's AMC, and it's up 11%, and it's also aiming for the 236. Oh my God! It's the two. Became management in the cult to smite the unworthy. Stayed for the positive vibes. Felt when enacting positive change in the world. It is true. There are no vibes like it. It is soul shaking. Ooh, it's making me jingle in my jugglies just thinking about it. Supreme executive power derives from a mandate from the masses, not from some farcical aquatic ceremony. Yes! Hi Jamie, sorry if this was covered. It probably hasn't been, King Ming. I love your name. Sorry if this was covered. Do you think this is the price reversal comparable to the one we saw a few months ago when we bottomed in the 130s? Whoa, the 130s, and well, it was 131, and it wasn't all that long ago, back in April, was it? And then before then, well, when was that? That was back in March, in 112.78, if I remember correctly, which I do, because I got some at 112.80, and thought, wasn't that nice? And still reflect back on that with, well, I bask in my glorious success when I think about it. Seems like the hype is heroes of our own... Wait, I'm reading two messages. The hype is back, folks. Oh, no, it's happening. The hype is returning across the meme stocks. The meme stocks. Nemesis salary, a minute, 1 GME. Nemesis salary a minute, 1 GME. I have no idea what that sentence means, but saying salary and GME in the same sentence gives me, dreams of one day we could all be, after the emancipation. Imagine, there's so many fucking shares of this thing. You could just go to your employer tomorrow and say, I demand to be paid in GME, or I won't pack another banana. I just bought 3 more moon tickets. Holy crap. The average family is only 2.1 people. Now I have to, an uneven amount of shares. Oh, shit. I'll have to buy more next time I'm paid. That's quite nice. I think that's interesting. I recently reflected on the fact that about the number of shares I own in GME is a prime number. And I thought, that's beautiful. And then I bought some more. And I thought, it's even more beautiful because it's a bigger number. And really, that's what matters. It's all about size. People will tell you it's technique. And yeah, sure, there's an argument to be made for nurture over nature. There is. And you'll not get anywhere in trading without risk management. And it's very true that in life there are 2 predictors of success that go above all others. One is aptitude, or if we're speaking in a general sense, your intelligence quotation. Mine is through the fucking roof. Where's yours? Mine's fucking, I think it's somewhere around 85 billion the last time I checked. What's your IQ? And then the second determinant is application, and that can be expressed again in many different ways. You might be the sort of person who places a lot of emphasis on punctuality, in which case you're probably not very high up on that IQ thing we talked about there. But it is a good quality to have. A better one, I think, is in your efficacy of the work you do. And right here, we do the best fucking TA you're ever likely to see on GME anywhere in the world of earthness. Okay? Anywhere in that world. Love Jamie's energy to bing a da bong. Way to find the bottom, Noah. Noah! What did you buy, Noah? Did you buy some more GME? I finally hit my big goal today. Bought more at 145.10. Nice. Holy good Jesus. Look at that. That's the AMC and it's at 28.94. Ha! That's a very different price from AGMEs. Where is it? Here it is. Woo. Look at that. King Noah getting in. Oh, you remind me of myself, King Noah. Average to 200 spot 20. Merrick. How's it going, Merrick? You legend. I like to imagine the SEC and intern checking on this stream. Ha ha! Yeah. It's funny, right? I've got messages from all sorts of people who watch this. Jamie doesn't pay. He is the king of the land and we give him taxes. Lol. Ha ha! James doesn't pay. What am I paying? Oh, the pay. You're asking about salary. Ha! Yes! Ha ha ha! No. That's funny. Ah ha. Hilarious. Yes. Good jokes there. I like that one. What were we talking about just beforehand there? I had something on my mind. It was interesting. Tax, put it in pre-market based on a GME. Oh, nice one. So people who are on time have low IQ. Ha ha! No. This is not what I said, Marco. Don't muddle my birds. I was thinking that to excuse myself from constantly being late and chucking that in at the middle of a sentence which involved big words in the hope that people would think, yo, I'm glad Jamie's late every so often. You know, that's what I was going for there. Maybe a little bit sneaky of me. Tradespotting, I'm sure you noticed, sorry if you mentioned earlier, but yesterday it was another TD9. Peter Klooster, you are certainly true, it was. Or is that today? I think yesterday might have been 8, and we could turn that on, and I certainly will do, but when I go to the daily time frame, doesn't that look very nice? Well, we've broken through that resistance, clean through there. Does that mean that prices have turned around? Yeah, so the TD sequential, you get your 9, it's a perfect 9, then you start your countdown. It could also go to 12, you know, for whatever it can go on, right? Now that we see the violence inherent in the system, come and see the violence inherent in the system. Help, I'm being repressed. Ow, my knee. Oof. Ow, short hedge funds hurt my knee. GME to the moon, boys. Certainly is. Muddle my birds. Hey, jiggly joggly. So, yes, there's no problem with being on time. It's a very positive thing. To be on time is very good quality, and I appreciate it. I've also pointed out on stream before that, for example, if I was meeting somebody for a business meeting or a date, and they hadn't texted me to tell me that they were going to be late, I wouldn't wait more than 5 minutes for them. I wouldn't. And then I'd probably hate them afterwards too. And so the fact that you all have that patience with me is fantastic. You can consider me Portia of Venice. Do as I say, not as I do, except when it comes to trading, in which point don't have anything to do with anything I say. It's not financial advice. This is just pure madness, unfiltered, crazy conscious vomiting. More likes, ya fannies. Yes. I think we're going to need more likes. I think that's going to be what we need. We need more likes, please. Ningen at poker, your name. Haha. NEGG yen. I don't know what the name joke is. I lose sometimes too. You lose sometimes at poker. That doesn't happen to me. I think it might have happened once, but I don't know. I was very, very young. It's hard to remember it. You don't even really remember things before you're 2 years old. And the free TA. Yes, it's free. A woman dressed as a man. What? Where? What? Where? What? What? Are you talking about me? I mean, follow me on Instagram at King Jamie the First. More madness. More. Tradespotting. TD sequential. Gimme the TD sequential. Every time the price is spot 69, I know a fellow ape is waving through the web. Yes, I always give myself a wee old nod to Luke Spears when I see the old 69. Branding Gallery 236 is a Fibonacci level Jamie uses to analyze the stock retracements. His earlier vids explains it much better. Ha! I have a video all about it. Tradespotting. Ningen is pronounced win. It's Vietnamese. Okay, Joe, you big smart arse, you. Alright? Yeah, okay, alright. As if I didn't know that anyway, of course I knew that. Win at poker. How fuck's that pronounced win? Holy goodness. I don't know if I'm going to have time left to learn Vietnamese. Not that I don't have time, it's just that would be difficult. Congratulations to everybody who can speak it. May I be the transportation tsar, the clearer of the bridge tolls? Well, Dobermamba, you certainly could be. That's a very good job. You could be the toll taker. Everybody has to pay a toll. I'm not sure if more happy with GME green or Hood red. Well, Yes, Tradespotting digging the sweater, Jamie, today. Thank you very much. It's Scotland, it's summertime, and I have an iron jumper on. How ridiculous is that? We're still at 156. Oh my goodness, kiss your cousin. Well, she's good looking, whatever. It's a common name. Tis. Thinks, Wolfedick. Thanks. Gender fluidity vibes fit a win. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Yes. That's something that I would like to encourage in chat. You know, I think those two things go together with big dick energy, and we're very much that kind of group around here. None of the teenage ball finagling, and none of the adolescent anxieties. This is a chat for people who have control of themselves. Hey, Arnold taught me that win is pronounced win. Hey, Arnold. Hey Arnold, that show. Oh my god, that was infuriatingly awful. We are MOASS inbound. Win is probably as common as Kim. Jamie might be late, but he wasn't wrong. Yes! This is good looking, whatever. Oh my effing god! Oh my effing god! BDE, exactly. Tim knows the chat. That's what we're looking for around these parts. It's also like a very good attitude to have in life, generally speaking. You know, you're responsible for your own shit, and you know, good confidence in that. Being nice to people in a confident kind of way, and that's the nice, good vibes that we've got here. Even if you have got, you know, a little bit of disadvantage there, and you know, just imagine. Apesy is super chatted $5, and it's a cool little dude. He's on the march. That's a Pied Piper. Oh yeah, the little dude behind's pretty good too. I like it. Sweaters are so cool, but you have to hand wash them, unfortunately. Yes, you do, or else you need to get yourself a new girlfriend every 3 or 4 weeks because they get washed out. They get washed out with the jumpers, like get ringed out, and that. Or a boyfriend, like whoever's happy to do your washing, and doing these parts, that's about a good enough qualification. Hey, Arnold was dope, lol, infuriatingly awful. Yes, oh, US didn't raise the debt ceiling, market crash inbound. Whoa, 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 whoa. That's not a reason to celebrate, Jamie. Who cares, Jamie? Who cares, really? You know, I'm not really. The truth is, I'm not responsible for the market crashing, right? That's not my fault. Tradespotting case. I think Super Chat was missed from. Okay, let me check this out. Paul Dooley, who'd getting spanked today? Happy days, Vlad Yafani. Yeah. Oh, wonder if he'll go to jail or not. It must be well annoying going to sleep every night, or not getting to sleep every night because you're worried that you might have to go to jail for massive, you know, massive alleged fraud. Sir Jamie of the Bing Bong table, what is your MOASS selling strategy? What is a MOASS selling strategy? What does that mean? What does that mean? Right, let's start that sentence again. Jamie of the Bing Bong table. Yes, that is I, Chasuski. Chak Useki. That is I, Chak Useki, King Jamie. Or Portia of Venice, King Jamie of the Round Table. Bing Bong. Yep, what was it? I can read one message. Can manage that. My brain can manage that level of concentration. What is your MOASS selling strategy? Thank you, sire. Haha, the $4.99 question, as was also come to be known around these parts, my internet friend. So, yeah, what is my internet selling strategy? Well, it sort of goes like, I don't want to fucking sell the thing. Really don't want to sell the thing. I've grown quite attached to it, and I'd prefer never to have to sell it ever. And I know that the dividends between now and the time that I am old will well and truly have paid for the amount of money that it's cost me to acquire the shares I have right now. Golden cross, death cross, positive cross, red cross. What does all of that mean, Paler Dog? What does all of that mean? You know, what's the best thing about Switzerland? Chat, what's the best thing about Switzerland? Do you know? Do you know what's the best thing about Switzerland? Because I'm not sure what the absolute best thing is, but the flag is a big plus. And the Red Cross, well, it's not unlike that. But at the same time, it's completely different. Win at Poker, love the name. See, you get a lot of fans around here, Win at Poker. You get a lot of fans. Makes me want to beat you at poker, if I'm honest. Makes me want to beat you bad. Oh, yep. Skiing? I do like a little bit of skiing. I do like it. That's one of the weird things about my primary school, was it was like fucking poverty ridden. But for some reason they taught us, like they took us to the ski. Edinburgh's got the largest dry ski slope in Europe, which is great for smashing your hands and thumbs on, which I can tell you about, right? I'll tell you a quick story here before we get into the TA about that, right? Anyway, yeah, it's this poverty school. They taught us to ski, so that was well handy. And then mum and dad were like, "Yeah, great, they're teaching them to ski." So they got like, "Go on, let's go and like help them ski, and we'll go ski." And I was like, one of those things I have an aptitude for, like fucking everything, as it happens. And I was really, really good at it, so I was advancing way up through levels. And long story short, I'm fucking awesome. But as it also happens that I was in this bar just around the corner from where I am at the minute, but it was many years ago, and I was talking to this chick. She was beautiful, right? And I was like, "Well, how's it going?" And she was like, "Yada yada yada, blah 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 blah." It turned out she liked snowboarding, so of course I like snowboarding, right? At that moment in time, I was like, yeah, there's nothing better than snowboarding. It's amazing. Snowboarding, yay. And we arranged a date where we would go snowboarding together the next week, which meant I had a week to learn how to snowboard. And so I went to this place, learnt it. I was really fucking good at the end of the day. It takes me falling over a lot of times, though. You fall over a lot of times. And on a dry ski slope with a metal grid underneath the plastic bristles, it's not particularly brilliant. Can you do a helicopter? Well, I'll tell you what, Brandon, I wasn't bad, right? I wasn't bad. I was doing, alley oops down a kink, right? Easy peasy, right? Fish brain, this stuff, all easy peasy. It was at the end, I sat down to take off my board, right, or my boots out of my board, right. I sat down. All I did was sit down, and I heard this crunch, and Rocky was with me, and I said, "Rocky, I've just snapped my hand in half." And we took my glove off, and my hand had snapped in half, right down the middle of my hand there. It had like snapped in half, and I took the glove off, knowing it was like that, like trying not to catch it on anything, and just at the end it caught the little bit of rope that you put around your thumb, caught it, and it flipped my hand over the other way. Yeah, so that was a nightmare. That was real bad. Never healed properly. Now I've got the bones from the fingers come down and they go into a V shape and that, and then it gets cold and my hand gets sore. And you have to be careful. Like when those people were robbing the house last week or a week and a half ago now on Rocky Stream. Quick jab there before I remembered, don't want to be doing that kind of thing with that hand. I know, the Swiss bobsled team. That's close, but you're late. It's the flag. As a high cultist, I am going on an extensive recruitment mission for Swiss Guard to protect the holy stonk puppet. They have years of experience protecting strange creatures that shouldn't be let near the kids. They do have it, though they're not the best at sorting that. You see, this is the problem with self-regulation, right? This is the problem. You can't fucking trust anyone. I broke my wrist. Snowboarding. Oh, brother Luke. You see, we have so much in common. We have so much more in common than we'll ever have that separates us. Tradespotting, that's horrifying. Yeah, it was pretty rank. And then it turned out she didn't even want the frickin' snowboarding date. She just wanted me to come around and visit her and smooch and that. Right? She wasn't interested in actually doing any snowboarding with me, which was like the first thing that like started making me think, hey, what's going on here? And then into the date, at some point during the date, she revealed to me she was dating this footballer called Oliver Tebley, who played for Celtic at the time. And I was like, I love Oliver Tebley. What is going on? And shortly afterwards I left, and I was like, fucking, I love Oliver Tebley. She's a freaking, Anyway. Yeah. Put me right off snowboarding, that experience. That's the moral of the story, right? It's never worth trying to impress somebody. It's literally never fucking worth it. Tradespotting, but did you hit it? Harriet! I went all the way to Strathclyde. Of course I got something out of it, for goodness sakes. Yeah, she didn't live in Edinburgh, so she had to go to Glasgow to see her. What a nightmare. That's so a funny experience, though. Back when you had a girlfriend who had a boyfriend. Yeah. Oh, there's this other girl who lived at the time, right? I was this other girl who was full on stalker, right? And I still see her around. It's like total head wreck. It wasn't the worst kind of stalking, but it was bad enough. And she used to live like on the bottom floor, and I would be on like the 4th floor of the street up the road. She'd always be pretending to get locked out of her flat and natty, like this damsel in distress stuff, which was like really annoying because she also had this habit of laughing whenever she was talking. So none of it all, it was all so incongruous and weird that it was hard to even like, softly get out of my garden. Tell you what, like she probably watches all of these streams. Anyway, she was like totally psycho. And somehow herself started dating this football player who played for a team here in Edinburgh called Hibs. And I can't remember who he was. He was shite, as you would be if you play for Hibs, sorry. And jokes. And then one night he came around to visit her and he was all shouting at my house like, hey, you fucking this, fucking that. It's like, what, She's feeding him shit in his ear too. Like, I couldn't stand her. I never went near her. I used to cross the road when I saw her waiting at bus stops and that. She wasn't even probably getting that bus. She was probably just knew my route and it's like, oh my god. Anyway, why am I talking about these things? How's the Rothschild one? She was bonkers, by the way, Joe. I met her sat at a Starbucks and I was like, I'm not the type to buy myself coffee very often. I'd buy somebody else with it if I was going for a walk or whatever. But I don't like go and get myself coffee. I've got a perfectly good coffee machine. And now if your KT sent me the best frickin' coffee beans I've ever had in my life, Kindness Coffee, look it up. It's not an advert. It's just the best frickin' coffee I've ever tasted. And so I was sat outside this Starbucks drinking this cup of coffee, and it was like in this a summertime in Edinburgh, right? But it was like a summer shower of rain. So there was like rainbows, it was sunny, and there was a little bit of rain. I was looking out thinking, oh, this is nice and peaceful. And this fucking lunatic sits down beside me, right? She was very good looking, and that. So like I didn't immediately act like she was completely weird, but she was completely weird. And we chatted and we got on a little bit, and then it turned out she was like also an actress, and she was acting in this play that was on at this theatre around the corner. And she's like, cool, I'll put you down for a ticket if you want to come and see the show and that. Well, I went to the show and then saw her afterwards, and that was a huge fucking nightmare, and I wish I'd never ever gone to that show, and I wish I'd never got myself that coffee. In fact, that put me right off Starbucks as well. And that was all. Aye. She's on TV and that, eh? Anyway, I was too late, Dan. Good morning, Jamie. Good bing bong. Rocky has arrived in chat. Whoa, Rocky, look at all the new melods. You have new brothers of the round table. I should really do some technical analysis. I'm sure she will contact you back, and I'm her boyfriend after the MOASS. Lamayo. What? Far be it from me to give you advice. I certainly can't do that, but I can tell you that there's a clock on those sort of things, eh? There's a clock, and like all those clocks, they've expired. It's a clock on those things, eh? And even that's like there'd be like a world-shattering compromise for me to cross those bridges. Like I'm not the sort of person who, like, I'll give everybody one more chance, but I'll never ever let someone who has been close to me back after fuck that, like, no way, no fucking danger, right? No fucking danger. Like, I take all these opportunities in life, these self-edifying opportunities. Like, I think that they're in gold dust, and like they're amazing for your resilience and your psychology. And if you can still be happy at the same time, then that's the way to be. Stoic, You'll live alone, die alone. The only thing you'll ever do at life that matters is something for other people. And I don't think you're in the right mindset to be doing that if you're also feeling that way about yourself. That for me personally, that I'd let somebody back in that I'd moved away from for whatever reason. That's like I'd like, fuck. Nah, like there's 9 billion people in the world, and this is the world I'm trying to change. No way. Like, if somebody can't change themselves on time, it's like, nah, mate, no danger. Nah, you don't think there's a clock? There's a fucking clock. There's a fucking clock. And a bell. I fucking love it. At the end of the day, I fucking love myself. Still think we need the 1 hour open and close above the 236 or a 4 hour. The hourly is good enough. This is a bullish engulfing. Check it out, right? This is a daily candle, and we're bullishly engulfing these are like yum gobble gobble. Oh, I have to say now, important. I want to put this out. While I'll never and it's a good segue from that last conversation. I made a mistake yesterday in not taking the time to read through the conversation with Monster Buddy, and then subsequently was the dynamic then between myself and Hassan didn't go very well. And I have an apology to make directly to Monster Buddy and to you, Hassan. I'm sorry. Now, what actually happened was I was like, as I am, quite a tinderbox, a little tinderbox over here, little Scottish tinderbox. And I'm an angry bastard. I'm very, very angry, right? I was born 2 things, right? 3 things, 4 things, right? I was born with this huge dong. I was born super, super confident. I was born really, really lucky. And I was born angry, right? Angry as fuck. And since then, I've only got more and more angry. Partly because of the man's inhumanity to man, and also because of the huge ignorance that exists, and that is so very difficult to dispel in the world. It's this huge body of ignorance which I fucking hate. And then just get more and more fucking angry. Why am I talking about this? So there's lots of different things that I'm going to go on to say. This is bullish engulfing. That's lovely jubbly. I'm sorry to Monster Buddy. I didn't read all of that conversation and I reacted too harshly. Same goes for then the dynamic with myself and Hassan. That was my fault, not yourselves. It's a good example of how I react to people. But on that occasion, I didn't take the time to read what had happened. Since I can say I still haven't read what happened because I deleted I'd banned them, hid them, so the comments were there gone, so I couldn't read them back, so I didn't even try. And I took their word for it that they weren't, but each of them weren't bad dudes, and that's like they're without having seen anything else. How can I say anything else? That's the truth. So that's that. So they're not banned then, and in fact they're one of us. Each of them are one of us. And if what the conversation was true that I had with them afterwards is true to be said, and it may well be because there's lots of people now and I forget some names, they've both and each of them have been with the channel for a long time. So I'm sorry, and I appreciate you, and it was my mistake, and thank you for bearing with me if you are back. So thanks and sorry. Right. And yes, so ignorance, huge body of an ignorance. Yes. And this brings me on to the question of volume, right? What is volume? Volume is people. And what are people if not stupid? And what is stupid? Well, stupid does as stupid sees. And if stupid sees this, stupid is going to join the party, right? Then the back carriages will start filling up. Not that this train isn't fucking loaded down with market participants already, like we've said, possibly 70 million GME shares held in Germany alone, right? And I'll fucking tell you, and may at some stage, probably like after MOASS kicks off, share it with the mods in the channel here. Not the exact names of people, but just some of the accounts that some people who watch this have got, right? And you'll be like, Jesus fucking, like, holy, pardon my blasphemy there, but you'll be like, whoa. So yes, why am I talking about that? Oh yes, there's shitloads of us, right? Stupid people do, stupid people see, stupid people do, stupid people see. Yeah, sound. So what we need is like these opening closes above these important levels are great, right? Everyone who got in here, like King Noah, who got in there at 45 and change. That lots of people aren't able to do that, right? It's like perfectly normal, right? They aren't watching this channel, they don't know this sort of things. It's completely normal to look at charts and not have a freaking clue what's going on and wonder, like, what am I supposed to know from this? Like, what's this telling me, right? That's perfectly normal. I've come to accept that and remember how it is to be that way over the last few days, talking to people who've got a Scooby about what's going on, and I'm trying to get them to some level of okayness so that I can say, okay. Dumb question. How much does DFE dictate the future of GME? Scale of 1 to 10. I don't know, because it might control your thoughts how it happens. And how do I say this in the best possible way? There's few people in this space that you can say you've got more. I could say, obviously, I imagine it goes for everybody, but I can't speak for anyone else. Lots of, oh my god, look, Spears, what happened? 70 million shares in Germany alone is fucking hilarious if true. Yeah, isn't it? Alright, it's still fucking stupid. Like, it's true, I think so, yeah. They were doing, like, I mean, a statistical analysis and their sample sizes and whatnot, but when you look at it, it's, like, fairly good work and, like, not crazy. And the work done to, like, be, as much as I hate the word reasonable, they just like come up with what they would say to be a reasonable factor, and then they half it just to be on the safe side, and they do that like a number of times throughout their sums. So at the end of the day, it looks quite good, and I can tell you that from my experience with some of the messages I've got from people here, some of the people who watch this show some of them are very well known. Some of them. And I've got a couple of messages from Scottish people who are like kind of well known in the world, who are like, yo, I watch your show. And there's people like that, right? And they're not even necessarily the ones I'm talking about who've got the huge accounts. That's just regular folks, more or less. And then there's like literally thousands and thousands of views who've got all you've got, many of you have got XXX shares, right? And then everyone down to just the single share is equally important to me. But I'm saying there's so many people here who've got loads, and so many different types of people who tune into this show, which is one of the reasons that makes it hard to come up with a format that suits everybody. And I can tell you, starting off with stupid long conversations, if I'm just talking and not really properly engaging and saying shit over and over and forgetting what I'm into, is the cup handle still in effect? Nah, it's old news. It's the ascending triangle and the opportunities are abound. 157 spot 35. Spot 30. Woo! It's the ascending triangles. What do you want to be looking at the minute? Does Mark Kopfler watch? Who is Mark Kopfler? And if you do watch Mark, and I don't know who you are, my apologies. Sorry. Famous people reveal you. I don't think they want to. That's one of the reasons why what's the context of their messages were as they were. Anyway, point being was you're asking about DFE, and I've got a lot. Like, I mean, it's not a question of respect. That's obviously awesome there, right? Guy's a hero. It doesn't matter what he does, and it shouldn't be on DFE to do it anyway. In a perfect world, which this isn't, obviously. Or fucking, I wouldn't have been born, perhaps. Certainly wouldn't have come here at this time to this place with this message if it had been a perfect world. In a perfect world, he's already done his job, right? He has already done more than anyone can ask of any single human being. And in that world, everything, like, it's just so far above and beyond that it's a silly conversation. He shouldn't ever have to do anything. And like, judge not, lest you be judged. There's very few people would be willing to throw the first stone against that, regardless of what decision he makes. But does it have an effect on my decision? Well, not really, because I didn't take the trade because I'm in things that DFV's in. Like, that's a stupid idea, eh? That's stupid. He'd tell you that's stupid himself, right? Yeah, it's a stupid idea. He's in it for other reasons, obviously, and those are likely the same reasons that I'm in it, and you're in it, and so on. And I don't know if there's anybody here. I doubt that anyone's actually here is in GME because of me. That's a silly idea. We're just on the journey together, right? That's a silly idea. But you might be in Rolls Royce because of me. And if DFE hadn't existed and GME hadn't got to the place that it is, then maybe I'd be talking hours and hours about Rolls Royce each day until such times as I had a big body of a thesis to put out there and a really good investment strategy for everybody. Hey, welcome to the family. SWW17033. Welcome to Chimp. Awesome, everybody. Big welcome. Awesome. These people, amazing. Love you guys. So, that to answer that question, for a scale of 1 to 10, I have got no idea how much he affects your own decisions. Like, I've got no idea. And it was SWW17033 you asked the question, I think. To me, it's a question. It's a question I can't even answer because it's such. It's like, what effect does another person have on your psychology? No, it's like that's obviously a question for you to answer. I am. Yo, Darren. Yo, Darren. Yeah, maybe you are, Darren. Thanks. Truly thanks for that and for this. And I can't say it's financial advice, and I can't say we're organised, but thank you so much. I am in Rolls Royce because of you. Yo, cool, cool, man, good. It looks good, didn't it? Rolls Royce is at 149. Is it up at 149? I remember the day it was back down around $1. My broker called me today to talk about diversification. I told him what's wrong with 50-50 Rolls-Royce GME. Seems pretty diverse. It does, doesn't it? There's both the jewels of my portfolio. Get fucked, broker. Ooh. Yeah, so, and to answer the question probably, can call me S-dub if you want. Good answer. Awesome, S-dub. Yeah, the full answer is it's up to you guys how much it affects yourselves. Like, and I would urge you to say, nobody should be allowed to impact your decision making, and you should fight for control of your mind the same way you do if you would for your body, right? That's a very, very strong point I want everyone who watches this channel to take on board, right? Even the mere suggestion of somebody to trying to influence your thoughts with their bias or just anybody at all encroaching on your own sense of decision making, I think that they are the people you should spend a lot of time telling to fuck off, until they've got really far away, and then when you get there, you should tell them to fuck off again. And that's a really strong message to try to put across on this channel. Like, nobody but you makes your mind up on shit. If you aren't that sort of person, you're not going to get along here. DFE is inspirational. Now, we each and every single one must take our futures in our hand and be our own powerful figure, rather than placing responsibility in somebody else. Exactly. That's what it is, Merrick. That's what it is. You're the hero of this journey. You're protagonist, antagonist. You're turning it every page. You are the mystery's final page. It's you guys. And this is our time. This is us. This is now. This is it. My broker's dissolved our almost 17-year relationship due to questions about GME. Grace Foundation! Is everybody getting on again now? I hope everybody's getting on well again now. And they're good to see everybody. Okay, but wouldn't you like to speak to one of our trader coaches? Lol, shut up, broker. Shut up. I will honestly block you. Stop calling. I know, they're like, but we've got this amazing advice. We've got this amazing advice that we have to tell you. No, you don't. As High Cultist, I shall smite those who do not think with divergence. Thank you, subscribing, Mr. Wub 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 Wub. Yeah. For a million years, Tradespotting, rock outcrop, forever and ever, rock outcrop, Tradespotting, over and over, rock outcrop, Tradespotting, for a million years. 156, spot 38. Right, how long have I been talking shit for? Ages. And we're 15 minutes from power hour. DFE is one smart chap. What's that, man? Says 3 Hulks. How's it going, my friend? Yep, Wolf Doom Slayer. I used to be a cheap date. Lol. Used to be? What's this? I'm a cheap date. I'm such a cheap date, by the way. I'm a really cheap date. I'm a cheap date. Please take me on a date. There's not much left of my mind, mate. I hope you are squared away so I can cling to yours. Joking. I replicate your tea on Royce seat, and once it was my own, I bought in. This is the way. This is the way, Rob. Legend. It's the way to do it. I've got the Bitcoin price now in the supply zone. Supplies! Yes, Bitcoin. Well, test of this around this area, 36, 37 area. Good, eh? Let's see, is that what you're talking about? Could well bounce here and then continue the uptrend, start putting in higher highs. Would like to see that for the Bitcoins. I mean, I'm not doing this in a chart behind me, that's just the answer. Jake Orwell, if you search in YouTube for Ronaldo Moreno, then it was his live show from last night. That was amazing. And the song I played is at 1 hour 40 into the stream. I would share a link, but I don't want to clutter chat with links. There is a link at the top. Do you see it at the minute? Tradespotting is showcasing their merchandise. The Bing Bong Baby Kong toddler outfit disco range. So if your toddler's got any sort of a disco coming up, all the other toddlers are going to bully them if they're not wearing those clothes. Can I join the cult? What's my role here, Tradespotting? Your role, Harriet, is coming up with the iconography that will leave lasting gestalt impressions on all of us and lead us further into extreme cognitive dissonance. This is your role, Harriet, and you're performing it fantastically well. More the better. We need sharp, hard-hitting, mind-altering designs. Jake Oriole usually plays live on Wednesdays and Fridays at 5 p.m. PST. That's the King Ronaldo. I'm going to get married one day so that Ronaldo can sing at my wedding. And if you've ever seen those the Wedding Crashers and that, those scenes, or like Hot Rod, even when they have the band at the end and he's doing the jump, I imagine it'll be some cross between that with Ronaldo leading it, and it'll be like the best part of the wedding. And that alone makes me want to get married. But to get there, I have to first go on these fucking date things. So if somebody can help me out with that, would be awesome. Cheers. BSV is Bitcoin. Craig Wright is Satoshi. No, Matthew H. BSV is not Bitcoin. Bitcoin is something else. That's BSV is not that. That's the incorrect ticker. And Craig White is not Satoshi. He is not. That's not true. Though there is a use case for Bitcoin Cash, and so on. The Craig Wright is not Senor Satoshi. He simply is not. I think he's demonstrated that himself. Not to say that you and I, Matthew, aren't going to get on like a house on fire after this brilliant interaction we've had there. But we may be of divergent views. I'll be joining the Patreon and YouTube when I sold. Sensory hoax. Well, yeah. There's somebody who's going to miss out on an awful lot of games and poker nights and karaoke nights and stand-up comedy nights and technical analysis lessons and other unquantifiable benefits. But while your presence will be missed, Sensory Hoax, we look forward to you joining us later. Froglord, I might be a but I think Bitcoin 15k before takeoff, quite possibly, right? We were looking at 36. If it holds, I think we're going to go in and put in a new higher high on smaller time frames. If it doesn't, I think we'll look to then like drop down. You see 32 again, then we'll look at 29, then 27, 26, and if that doesn't hold, then yeah, maybe you're looking down worse. But there's no real point talking about that yet. Merely what you want to be doing is paying attention, as I was doing, following it on the way up, expecting it to break down at any moment, at which point you'd be ready to open a covering short, which I have a little bit of, not as much as I could have, but I hedged a tiny bit, and so the drop's okay. If it keeps going, that's fine, and I've got big distance overhead on it, so I don't need to worry about it, and I can just not, I mean, it's not about making money, it's about preserving value, so it's all managed well, stops and profit and whatnot too, so it will be fine. And that's the way to manage your Bitcoin positions at the minute if you don't want to jump out of them all, which you might not want to for various reasons. It's going to be a long time, but yes. Well, who knows? Who knows and what happens in the meantime? Who knows what happens in the meantimes? You might win the lottery, and then who knows? You'd probably join us. H. Jones, I am... Well, let's do H. Jones, so I don't need to rate. TLRY on Iron Brew. I did do TA on bar, and let's do some of that in a minute. That's the time now. Time is 19:31. I was going to look at various things, so we'll start off on looking at those various things. TLRY. 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 This is the weekly chart. As you can see, a little bit flux there. You've got your 21 net and your 55. You're just covered across top of the 50 period moving average. That's fantastic on the weekly to be back up there. Good news, good news. Weakening momentum to the downside, a bit of divergence, I've not got that on the RSI yet, but you do have it on your momentum here. Histogram on the MACD, pardon me. You will soon have positive cross there on the MACD and signal line, but this hasn't existed long enough to have a 200 period moving average. Well, instead of vacay to Puerto Rico, the lady and I got a couch and more GME. Yo, Evan, eh? Well, I would love a couch. Wouldn't that be nice? A couch. Thank you to my generous audience. I shall shortly be getting a new chair. JCC CBD. How can Tradespotting spend all this time and effort for his friends on his stream and still have 3-hour chats with his dad and Rocky around a barbecue today? We will never know. Yes, we had an excellent little barbecue there on the patio. Me, Rocky, Dad. It was brilliant. We reminisced about old times. We talked about the future and chuckled. I saw Lord Skywalker. Thank you for subscribing, lousy little egos. Nice name. Tristan, please check out H-Bar. H-Bar. Right, so, lovely time it was today too. Right, so let's do the TA and we'll start until we look at the weekly chart frame. Right, open and closing. This is a doji. It's not a pattern because it's not the top of a trend. It's in the middle of that previous guy. It's above that one. That's not great. Could be problematic on if this turns bad, but we'll look and see what else is going on. Actually seems okay. And the week's got a way to go yet, so I wouldn't worry about that. What's interesting is you're above the 50 period moving average. This cross here, let's talk about crosses briefly as we go through them to answer the question about crosses. This is a meaningless one. It means nothing and it's good for nothing and you can't use it for trading nothing. Generally speaking, you get more from the splay and the slope of a moving average than you would than a meaningless cross. And 21.55, let's see, is that even 21.20? No, that's still just as meaningless, right? In fact, I'm not even going to use that. I use 8. Which, as you can see there, interesting on the weekly, it's got 55 and 8. Has it played with that before? It did on the rise up, and when it's trending moves, your 8 period moving average on the weekly is a reasonably good test of trend. Like, as you can see here, right, when prices are going up, they're above it, but they weren't really, they were below it for this whole period of time, and it was downward price action. And there you go, right? It's as simple as how easy that is. Then here it is below it, and that's like catches above it here. Then it's above it, opens and closes a number of periods. Like here you put in a bullish wick. Sure, there's a very negative candle, the next one, but this is a weekly time frame. Managed to do that. That's quite good for the future. And I suppose if you were looking at the institutional orders at the time, if you were looking at the volume and the open interest that came in at this area and the changes, then you might have said it was likely there was another air test of it. That's what this constituted. After you got, what was that, doji pullback there, positive divergences, no, but you got accumulation above the center line. That was enough on a weekly time frame, plus being above the 8 period moving average, took a huge move up. And so your 21, or sorry, not your 8 period moving average is a reasonably good test of trend. You're below it at the minute, but you did come up and touch it there, and that's interesting. See how that develops. On your rocket crop DMI, you can see there's a little period of flux here, has been for a while since this drawdown around the start of April onwards. But since then you've been putting in weakening momentum. That trend is dying off. You've got double bottom there in your RSI, but lower on price action. So class B, bullish divergence. Not enough to get you above the 8 period weekly yet. That's not a surprise, right? You're not going to get much more from this on this time frame because it's not been around that long. Let's drop down and see 3 days. Turd Ferguson, big fan of you, sir. I've learned a lot from you over the months. Would you mind giving your thoughts on FVRR? Is that Fiverr? Damn right, mate. I will do. Certainly will do, Turd Ferguson. Will do. Please, moderators, please keep a list of things that people have asked me to go over. Certainly people that have paid for shit and that I didn't get around to. I feel like an asshole when that happens. Ride. I've got to do Ride. And... oh, fuck, what was that one? Fiverr. I just nearly forgot that already. And then I see Swish has asked. Swish has been at Wish. Sorry, Wish. So I'll have a quick look at Wish too. So please, NEGG climbing again. Happily look at that if you like, Justin. But it might take me past close if I end up doing too many. So like those Fiverr got fucked today, did it? Interesting. I'll have a look at it. Right. So and your drop down, right? 3 day time frame. You're below that 8 period moving average still. So again, it's still a good test of trend even on the 3 day, and I'd use it all the way down to the daily to be honest. You're above the 50 period moving average. That's important. Your 200s there. I'd expect now that it's come on, we'll see some sort of a test of it. Price would have to either spend an awful lot of time here or touch up. You are in a downtrend, lower highs than this part of this move. What's that look like with regards to... I've already got work done on this. Ha ha ha. Here's your low, here's your high. What did I predict on this move then? If I drew that fib in, what did I say here? It came back, dropped below that 236. Don't know what happened at that point on the 3 day. It's not giving you anything obvious. Obviously, there are huge things going on. But what was the trigger? Nothing obvious there. Nor there. Let's just drop down again. 2 day above the 200, touch the 50. As a positive cross has happened here. So on the 2 day, that's interesting, right? It's interesting. 50 simple period moving average crossing the 200 period simple moving average. When the 50 period crosses up through the 200, that's a golden cross. When it crosses down below the 200, that's a death cross. It's traded most commonly on the daily time frame, where as you can see, we're going to have a test if price action persists below the 50, certainly below the 200. Then eventually these two will come in and there'll be some sort of a test. At the same time, how do you trade these crosses, right? Well, there are various implications for them. They depend on where the cross is happening in relation to price action. So that is to say, is price above or below when the cross is happening? And if it's crossing a golden cross as prices are above where the area of the cross is happening at, that's more likely to end up in a bullish move. Or if they're below when there's a negative cross, that's more likely to end up in a negative move. But that to happen on the first test of of these, should it break even on the very first one, isn't likely necessarily to drive price action beyond previous resistance, unless the cross is happening not far from it, which at the minute, you suppose you could say that that's possible, right? On the daily time frame, you could say that that's possible, but that's not there's your resistance there below it. You've come back up above it. At that point, you put in bullish divergence. It's likely then that you do test the 50 period because you've got some positive momentum from that. You do test, and you've also got it on your momentum indicator there on the MACD. It's likely you'll get a test of the 50 rather than just the 200, and if that happens before the cross happens, then price action will of course be above the area where the cross is happening at. So even though you can see it coming in now and it might look like we're on the bearish posturing of it, we're not actually there yet, and you can't judge these things until they happen. You can't. So and even if you were above it, you wouldn't be breaking the horizontal resistance on the top, so there's again nothing definitive yet there. What most commonly happens with a very good tradable golden cross or death cross is that price action will come in and test the cross as it's happening. So that's related to where the price is in regards to the cross. Okay, so if that cross is happening miles away, then you might get a really good move to trade just on the test of the cross, and so you would look out for bullish candlesticks and some sort of confirmation if you were going to enter that trade, but it would also be obviously very short term. To trade a golden cross, you wait for the retest, right? So the cross happens, prices will move one direction, might be a confirmation of that directional of the cross, maybe bearish if it's a death cross, might be bullish if it's a golden cross. You'd wait for price action to move away in one of those directions, and then you'd make it wait again. You wait, right? I know, but I want to take the trade. You wait anyway, right? I don't give a fuck if you think you're going to miss it. Like, so many people, you get to that stage of the conversation, they're like, oh, well, I can think it's happening, so I'll just get now because it's cheaper now. And it's like, that's not the fucking way it works, right? You're trying to make sure you manage your risk. It's not about making the extra little bit of profit. You'll sacrifice that for a good trade where you know you're right. You wait for the retest after the price moves away. Cross happens, price moves away, then it comes back. Then you have the test, the retest, and then when prices move again, you have the confirmation. And it's only after you have the confirmation that you enter the trade. So that's how you trade a golden cross, a death cross. That's how they happen. They're all relative on the daily time frame and on the simple period 50 and 200. Now already, if you're getting your information from Investopedia level of quality of level, you already now know more than you would have from reading that website, right? Because it's bullshit and full of crap, right? Written by pretty much stupid people with the odd exception, and it's worth zero amount of your time, right? It's worth zero amount of your time. And if you can't find anything better, then you're going to need to up your Google skills. Investopedia is a hole in the ground, in my opinion. And that is more information than you'll ever get from them. Also, they're for the daily time frame. They're on the simple period moving averages, and it's the 50 and the 200, and you trade it not on the move after, but after the retest, you get the confirmation, then you have your entry. And how do you trade? Like, what's your measured move? What's your expected trade? What's your risk reward? Well, that's all comes down to the technical analysis that you do over and above just pointing out the cross. So this is what we're looking at here. Potential closing in of the 50 to the 200. Price action may well come up and test the 200, or even likely the 50 period at this stage, having put in, if this is, which it looks to be, a higher low. And let's stretch it out. Get this up here and draw a very, very small high there. Oh, now you know you're doing that again, Jimmy. Boom, boom. There you have it. Prices on this time frame coming in, and every time frame you can see they're sitting there at the 236. Now they get to open and close above that 236 to confirm this as this is a low, and then subsequently as it being higher low than in here, and then for price action to go on and try and make a higher high, or at least get in and around tempt that idea. If it does manage to test the 200 period moving average, which has currently got an upward slope and is at the top of that range already, then it'll be breaking its higher high, and it's quite likely that it goes on and at least wicks up to the 50 period moving average. But as that time goes on, that'll obviously move moving down. So in and around here, it's likely price action is on the cross as it happens, and that makes for a shit cross. It does, because you have to trade it. Loads of the information that you take in to make, quality of decisions will come in how price action evolved up to that point. And for it to be on it while it's happening means there's going to be fuck all, right? Movement. And then there's little story and there's little information, and there's what you're going to, imagine you're a detective and you turn up at the crime scene and, there's literally nothing there. There has been no move, no evidence, no nothing. Right? You can't solve anything if there's no evidence. You want some. That was a shit analogy. Wow. Anyway, you really want some fucking evidence to be able to come up with some hypothesis and then test it. And if you don't have one and you're just like, well, it looks good, that's never really a good strategy, right? So yeah, you're looking for this to open and close daily above where it is at the minute, and it's done very well. That's a bullish engulfing. It's come off the low here previous. It's got divergence. So should it be that? And right, but you can expect closing around these levels. It won't be it's unlikely to go much further. Drop down to the 4 hour. Here's that candle. It's a doji. If you can get a little bit more of a body on that, that would be positive. It's very hard to break this level of resistance just above here, that body close on this previous candle, right? And then from the breakdown there, it's doing a very good job to even rest up here. That would be good. The candle opening and closing here. Also at this doji, not higher. You want to see that push up at the end of the day. You'd really like to see it finishing above 1463. Why are we checking TLRY? Any catalyst? Somebody asked for it. Who seemed like a nice chap, so I covered it. And I'm going to just drop down, and then people have to trade things to live and pay the bills. This might be one of the things he's picking. And then you're looking at this and you're saying, is this some sort of inverted head and shoulders? Quite possibly. If it is, then it's already doing quite well off the back of things. I'll speed this up because, obviously not everyone's interested in every ticker. It looks like it may already be doing something there. That's not accurate. It's more like, what's the definitive point there? You've got a choice, and that's obviously not broken. This is it here, actually. And you do want to see this push up again. This is speaking to the fact that you want to see this push up some further, and the fact that on the higher time frames there's potentially a death cross coming in means you'd love to see prices above it, and also that's because they don't particularly look fantastic right now. It could be that they get a little bit of a dink, come down, and if they do, you'd be looking for moves down. Previously you'd have support there. Obviously you've got it slightly lower. If you're already in this, perhaps from this divergent low here, then you've got a little bit on the go there. It would be areas where you'd have to look above you. Obviously, if you don't get above this area and close like 4 hours, then I'd say that's a fake out, and you're likely to come back down again and start testing below this diagonal line. And then above that, you've got a level that's going to be really tough to break at 1672. It may well be that it shoots there quickly if it does break this level, and if it has momentum and carries it through here, then there's not really going to be much to stop it until then. And that's what you'd be looking at if you're in it at the minute. There's your profit. 2 of them that'll be useful, and there's where you don't want to drop below really, and if you do, you're looking at testing this low, but you've already tested it once, put in divergence, so if you come down again, I expect it to go further and try for another touch of it, and this is the catch area, right? It's like around 1310. And that's your TLRY. And what do we expect to happen by the end of the day? That's bearish. It's rolling over there. It's feeling to break its highs. It's a series of lower highs. It's a series of lower lows. Sure, it's got bullish divergence. It's going to have to accumulate above the center line if it wants to go anywhere there. Not seeing it yet. If it doesn't get a boost in the next 15 minutes, it's going to finish the day and pull down to a 1442 sort of areas in the not too distant future. So that was that. And what did somebody else ask for? Just sold my Bitcoin. What did somebody else ask for? What shall I do now? Neil looking nice, not the crypto, but the stonk. Niels, we could maybe do Neo. What else did people want to look at though that they'd asked for? Some chat paid something for something. What was it? Oh, Pretham was asking if where's that because of that. Yes, well, I mean, there's always a potential catalyst on the go. There could be a positive trade on this if you get another touch of divergence. I think it'll come back though at 1441. If it holds that level, that's great. I don't think it doesn't look like it's necessarily going to me. If a 4 hour can hold the center line, it can't though, you know, because we just checked it there. It's going to come down anyway, and then that's not great. We probably have something that's in conflict with this on the RSI. One of these drops back down to that sort of area, and then you'd be able to draw like a upward sloping trend line across the bottom of your 4 hour RSI, and that's likely to happen. And prices coming down, perhaps even making new lows on this move before you see really high push upwards again. If this area is to be the top, and if you were to take a Fibonacci like here, you'll be able to see this comes up to the 886. So yeah, in and around here, nearly, not even. So yeah, that's to prove its lows probably a bit more. But if it does break above this area and it opens up and close a 4 hour up above the 16 levels and the 17 levels, what is that? If above the 16, if it goes up and pushes up above 1683, then you've got a big move incoming. You could jump in on this and probably ride it to $22. And if it doesn't stop there, then it'll go all the way up to 27. And at some point, you know, it'll probably come back. And if it doesn't stop at 27, it'll definitely take some sort of a hit up in the 30s before retracement and higher lows. But I'd expect long before that you'd have pullbacks and whatnot. And even starting now, it's not a very nice head and shoulders. And you don't have like everything you'd like to see across all the time frames there, so I would say not great, especially seeing that difference there. And if this pullback afterwards, not great. You held the 236 and that's okay. You don't want to see it go below 1363. If you do, it's likely to start putting in at lower lows in around $11. Why am I still talking about that? I'm only talking about something else, and I've said every number in the world for it now. Where is the next ones I'm supposed to be doing? Tradespotting, somebody said my name. FVRR. That's right, Fiverr. I've definitely not got that on the charts. FVRR. %25 hit, huh? What was that for? Just for this divergence on the daily, it doesn't seem enough of a reason to take a 25% knock. Well, if we turn it off here, turn it off log. Fuck. It's very unfortunate for it that it this gap took it below the 236. You know, there just wasn't the liquidity there, or alternatively the people pushing it down, who knows what they've been up to. But I suspect that's a lot of people jumping out with market orders right open. Why is that they've also jumped out, haven't seen the drop? Let's check that. Huge gap on the daily. Does it fill it? Probably. I mean, maybe not for a while, right? Having opened in that down below this 236, having opened below the 382 was right there. It could easily have done that. The 200 period was there. Everything ready for it. What happened was you had a death cross, right? Prices went up. Came back as the 50 period was crossing, like getting close to the 200, and they tested there, and prices went down below it and up again, which maybe have got a lot of people like enthusiastic about it, and they went on, right? But as we said, that's just the test, right? There's also, like, as it's happening, there's also, and where price action is at the time is interesting. So price action was above it as the cross came in, and then got dragged back to it for the test, went below it and came back, and people might have thought that was bullish, but that's not how these things work. And then it went on and put in a higher high, but that higher high was hugely divergent on the MACD and your RSI and on your Rockies Outcrops DMI, and actually that had been building for a while, so you had an early indication of that from here. And then it came down again, and there's your retest. And at this point, you're looking for a successful move, or like at this point, it would be a failed death cross, which would also be bullish. As a golden cross is bullish, so is a failed death cross. Maybe not as great, but it's the same thing in essence. Anyway, or not, but whatever. You're likely to get then a golden cross out of it, right? Because your 50 is going to move away from the 200, and that trend will like follow price action up, which will usually like go on and then start being like, well, because of that positive trend, it'll catch like the 8 period moving average, and by the nature of that, a smaller period moving average means a more dramatic climb if it's persisting in that trend, and so the 50 as a consequence tends to diverge from the 200 even more, and that's then a very bullish catalyst for price action just from the charts, and then you don't need news in the real world. And this is something that people who approach TA and they're like within a number of years, usually like it takes them a while to get their head around the fact that the news doesn't matter. It's only news is just people invent news as a reaction to things that have already happened. Like there is no way that news can dictate how things go. It's only as a reaction, and they're trying to explain something and generally do a bad job of it. So there's no point in watching or caring about the news at all, full stop, ever, in regards to anything, especially not trading. So the 55 period moving average there, people might have thought like, oh, bounce, a reason to go up again and that, but there was this death cross on the go, and that was never going to do anything. It was the retest of this that mattered. So anyone that bought it there, silly, but why you would have, like, after that divergence, that's just absurd. People buying it there, totally absurd. No real reason for a horizontal bounce from this wick. I mean, is that it? You'd be crazy. And so then this is obviously a death cross, and it's like hugely successful one. Prices have already made a huge move. It may then come back and test the other side of it. That's very common in period of flux, which might happen, but I don't know. I don't think so, because this is a lower high on its ultimate high, having put in a divergent second touch up there. This between here and here is also now, if you're in a downtrend, bearish divergence, and then also then between these two, if you're in an uptrend, bearish divergence. It's fucking awful, right? And it's the daily time frame, and it's fucking awful. And then it opens up with that huge fuck off gap. Drops below the 50 period, the 50 Fibonacci, the 0.5 Fibonacci level at 174, and it opened up below, and it went below that down to 172.92. So this is screwed. It looks like may well go up and test these moving averages on the daily. Let's see what that looks like on the 4 hour. You've had your golden cross, and now you don't call it a golden cross on the 4 hour. People do, but it isn't how you trade it. Do you come up and test these areas? Like, you've got this horizontal now that was support once, twice, 3 times down, broke it, used it again as support once you're above it, so that confirms that it can use it like as resistance too, that it took a second. Support again, and then get fucked. Flipped to resistance. Getting above 195.30 is going to be a fucking nightmare. This thing's going to find it really tough to do anything unless it's got some really good news. All this happened on earnings. So there's a lesson. It's very risky to hold things through earnings. It's tough sometimes, but if you're a hodler, you don't really care because you're not here to trade in and out of things, and you're trying to accumulate over time. You've got position management and whatnot. But as we know from following charts with GME, that earnings can be tough times sometimes. Other times they can be fantastic, as you might have noticed with Rolls-Royce this morning. Whoop whoop. So anyway, you came down, and it's obviously had bad news on its earnings. It's also probably likely been even worse than it was anticipated by a chunk, because the prices have gone 25%, which to my experience would suggest that earnings probably came back 10% or worse than anticipated. Which has a big chunk of effect on the prices. It's more than 10%, sometimes to get that sort of a chunk, but that is a big chunk, right? And so probably it was a fucking nightmare for the earnings, maybe even worse. And then you're looking down here and you're thinking, Tradespotting, could you take a look? Neil, please, would appreciate it. Neil's Van de Graaff, I will do, no problem. And so look, it looks fucking fucked. 4 hour may well get triumphant to come back up and try and test these moving averages, but like you're going to have to try and break through this area of support to get there. I don't even know if that's possible. More likely it stalls there, your 50 comes down, hits it somewhere around here, and then drops it down further, and you'll be looking at lower lows. Your golden pocket retracement, that's like a stick on, it comes in at least around 139 if you ask me, and like if it is screwed the way those earnings and that seem to be pointing out from this angle, then you've got horizontal supports on there on the 4 hour down below, which I suspect also on the daily, yeah, there. And then also you've got that dip on daily, but that would be fucking awful, and I'm not anticipating that. Instead, let's see what happens with this. Let's see, it's this move, it's this Fibonacci, and then so it takes 1414 comes in at $109, so let's say that that's where it catches it in around there. That's likely the fucking move on this thing. It'd be brutal if it happened, and it looks like it might happen. And then, so you could take a short position if it bounced up to that 50 period moving average, and it would start somewhere like there, easily have a stop. I'd put it somewhere like that, and that'd be your target in the first one. That's like 3 to 1. And you could easily get something like that off it, and that's if you wanted to take a short on this. I wouldn't necessarily be doing that. I don't think it's the way to play this, but I would wait and think that there's a potential for a long entry on it, and it's the same area to enter, or perhaps you'd get a sneaky bottom of your golden pocket there. That entry at 1414, it's likely hits there. It depends where you want to enter, your risk management, your appetite for risk. You can only get in a 2.26 trade there. Shit. Also, on the back of that negative move, I wouldn't want to be left holding the bag, so I wouldn't look at that. That's as much as you might anticipate getting off the top of it. So your trade on the long on this one for a good entry is in fact like just actually down at the 1414. That full extension of that move, that would be your entry in around $106, and your stop loss on it would be down below and really tight, and keep it there and say, right, if it goes beyond it, I don't fucking want it. Maybe this is 1618. That's as much as you could afford on that one. You've got a 5 to 1 trade more or less, and that's how you take that. How I would anyway. Right, what's the other ones we're going to look at? I know Neil's one of them, so I'll just quickly look at Neil. What's the time? 22, right. I'm going to try and get these done and finished within the next 18 minutes, all of the ones that I've got stuff to look at still, and then I can come back to them after market close, but I want to look at AMC and GME, obviously. This thing, right, today, I'm not interested, right, want to see that, okay, yeah, great, it's a great chart, put in divergence, came back, the full move, that's a 618 retrace. It's got a lot to go in it still, lower high, not good enough. Not good enough, but better, but not good enough. That's okay, actually. And it's recovered to 200. That's a good sign. But this is not good enough. I mean, there. Another test of the center line, and what, 382? No, that'd be higher than that. $4 that's good. That's alright, let me check that. That's your RSI bounce zone on the 4 hour anyway. On the daily, not quite. Maybe. Yeah, so that was a good bounce, a likely bounce, but most of that trade's already taken. It's back up at your 236, so breaking beyond there, that's your previous high before again. Your resistance, your divergent again. This is probably going to come back down. It's probably going to break this low, because that wasn't even at support. There's the one that people will be looking to. but then it'll just go beyond it and hit the 0.5, bounce again, they'll stop out, comes down again. That's your tree entry on this one. Yeah, you're right, this is done well, but it's got too much divergence on the top of this move. It had shitloads here. It was at an all-time high that it put it in, and that's time for a break, right? It's time for a break on Neo. Your trade on it is actually way miles away. If it goes up, great. It's like not my risk profile. If you want to trade this now, cool, go for you, but it's not the sort of thing I'd take. I'd take this, and I'm a complete bastard, so I'd also go at the bottom of the golden pocket for my entry. Like, if it's not amazing on that front, I'm not interested in this. Also, because it's got these horrible wicks, and that it leaves you with a horrible low. You could take that. That'd be a reasonable. It's a good entry, considering it's made an all-time high in a 236 retracement. And sure, I'm looking at 4 hour and looking at dailies, and this might not happen anytime soon. But there's millions of things in the world, and then you'd say like it comes in. It's probably like, let's be. What's your right there? You're only getting 2 to there. It's not worth it. But you'd be looking for it to test that sort of thing. You'd at least get something like that. Expect a third touch there if it does break down at some point on this move. And if it goes through that, then you'll get up, and you'll get your horizontal, likely up here, and it might just be a wick, and you might not get the full exact thing. So let's just say take a tiny little bit off it. That would be your profit take in the zone, and you could maybe get a 3, nearly a 4 to 1 out of that. And depending on how you put your risk, you manage your risk and your entry here, it might be okay. On the 15-minute, there's more of that divergence. No, that's okay. Lower, higher, low, that's okay. Not great, though. Not great, obviously, and then divergent from its previous high here. So you have got divergence. You've also got, nah, that's not great. And at the very least in the 15-minute, you'd expect to see it back at 48, 45, 80. Probably has a tiny bounce there, goes back up to its previous wick low at about 46, 47, then drops down. Also, you've got earnings coming in for this when? Tomorrow, is that correct? And it's right already at this high. So you can see a drop on that, depending on what they are. Neogenomics, depending on what they are and what their earnings that come out like, easily see a test of that horizontal or this one, and it could be brutal and quick, or it could be slow and painful. Either way, what did he say, Kim? What did who say? What did who say? Stephen Kimber, bullish. Well. Divergent. It's divergent. Can't be bullish on this right now. Just can't be. Right. What's the next one? Must guard against fraud and manipulation, whether from big actors, hedge funds, or elsewhere. Exactly. GG just tweeted the part of his chat on CNBC that they removed on their YouTube channel. Fucking legend. Nice work. Yes. Every day I like it more and more. Will a market crash make it so synthetic shares are never closed, thus making the squeeze impossible? Somebody floated that theory in Rocky's Discord. I don't think that they floated that theory in Rocky's Discord. No, I think perhaps what they did was they said, hi, I'm in a moment of crisis. And this irrational narrative has crept into my mind where I keep making the wrong distinction about how liquidation happens and what that means. The synthetic shares are the trigger of the MOASS. After it cause it, and after they cause it, it's the failures to deliver and the shorts that need to be closed. The fact that some of the shares are synthetic is their fucking problem. The event of liquidation that happens, it's not about taking their synthetic shares and then handing them out to the public. It's about meeting their obligations via their assets that they've got and they're currently using as collateral. And as collateral, it currently supports their entire obligations, i.e. everything they own can be taken away and replaced in value in real terms with the other shit that they've got on their books right now. And that's how these things work. So it's likely that somebody had a moment of crisis and they were looking for their fellow ape to turn around and say, no problem, buddy, here's the answer, and we're all cool. And That's where we're at, right? That's where we're at, because what you're saying there is very close, Nanya, you legend, you. It's very close to a reasonable point you're making, and we no longer engage in reasonable conversation. So, you see? Tradespotting, CLF, SOFI, Ride, NEGG. Thank you very much. Awesome. Thank you. Sweet. But I recognise your name, and I know you've been around for a long time, Nungyan, and I know I'm saying it wrong, and I appreciate you. Thank you very much, and it's a good question, but there's no need to worry. Really, there's no need to worry about that stuff. It's a self-evident truth that unites us, is that the shorts have to cover. This has got positive divergence. It's coming up for earnings here on the other side. You're already at a low. Everything's already screwed. So their earnings coming out and being bad, well, everybody already expects that, and they're perhaps baked into the price. So now all you need is for them to be not as bad as people expect, and you'll likely get a good move. You've also got positive divergence. It's a 4 hour. You've probably got it on the daily time frame. You have the top side of this. Not so bad, right? That's not so bad. That's not so bad. Yep, that's not so bad. You had your death cross, you had your test of the 50 period there, and it came down. That was it, that was shit, and then this is what you're retesting at that, and it's like so shit. Before that though, you had the bad move. It was nothing to do with the cross, right? It's from since the cross, prices have actually been more or less in a range, and that range is likely to persist for a while. Ding dong, ding dong. And when you get above this level, you can start looking at things that could end up being a W bottom. This is a buy right now. This is a potential buy. I know, yay, but there's so much fuckery that goes on. Exactly, there is. And so maybe you take an order from that level in around 550 and see if you get a little bit lower. Or maybe you just take it now because it's already at $5. And what is right? Lansdowne Motors Corp. Is it really going that low? I wouldn't think so. We're going to go to zero on this. Like, I'd expect to see this testing up at $10. Like, and this could be a good one, eh? This could be a good one, motherfuckers. Motherfuckers, keep an eye out on Ride. Let's check this down here. You've got divergence. You've got more divergence. You've got let's see now. Here we go in for the real information. Hey, motherfuckers. Negative cross up as that goes down. That would be good. That would be good. Good. Something like this here is what you might see. What happened right there? Not great. Fail. Boom. ADX persistent. Negative trend. Since then, there have been positive things on this. You haven't got the perfect ADX to start and curl around, but it's close. And it's not got a trend on that. There's no real trend on that. Four hour. Yeah, that's what we're looking for. Yes. Yes. Kiss. Boom. Come back. ADX down. If this DI plus turns up and goes across the center line, crosses the DI minus, and starts going up with the ADX, they both start pointing up and it turns around at the 24. As there's a trend change, then sure, fuck, that's not bad. And this could be a buy. This could be a buy. Short term buy, bit of a jump up. It might be your entries like already here. It's difficult to manage risk at all time lows, but you know, depending on the things, like you've got a lot going for you here, right? Even on the hourly time frame, you got a lot going for you. So let's say you take that in there. You really don't have you've got like literally nothing there to go on. Let's see. It might be that's the extension on this. If this is like already at the 1618. So they're 1414, is it? Yeah. So this is your entry, right? This is your entry, and it's not really for everybody, this one, because it's hard to take your stop, and I literally actually would move it. I'd actually go, I've got a different idea on this now, actually. Let's see. see, where's your take profits on this? Like, that's your first one. May well be that you only get to here, in which case you're only getting 1.8. It's not bad if you've got the right signal in lower time frames, and I'll check that in a second. But then you could get like 2.5 to there, and that would be another take profit. And also you could have it here, and looking left, there's plenty of reason to take some profit at 11.87. But at that point you're up 100%, and then you'd likely, I would likely hold a tiny little bit of this to $15 and see how that goes. That looks interesting. That looks interesting. You've got options. Interesting. That's also interesting. I think that this is also, like, as you can see, your 200 period, because of the nature of price action, it was such a dramatic fall followed by this period of consolidation here. That has allowed the 200 period moving average to catch up with the slope, the downward momentum or downward move. The 250 period took obviously much quicker and more dramatically, and so that leaves it in with a chance of also having a golden cross, and at those things you'd likely get a test, and so you could well expect prices to come up in and around the $9 area at the very least if you get a positive move off here, and you've got all the reasons to get one on most of the time frames. Drop down 30-minute, look at this, say yep, you've got your MACD cross in here, you've got positive momentum, you've got positive divergence on the last low. That's enough, even though you're below the 200 period, to at least look to a move to the 200, which is $7.18, right? So if you open and close above $7.18 on an hourly time frame, then I can see this easily jumping quite quickly up to $9. And then if it opens and closes above $10.20 or thereabouts, you may be looking at a little bit of profit, 11.67, but after that it's clean up straight up to 15.48, and that's a really interesting place to go for this. And if you do make that, you know, there's quite a lot actually going on there, and this looks like a harmonic as well. So that got all the way back to this one. No, maybe not there. Yep. So that might go like there. Yeah, and you'd be looking at like more or less 5 to 1 depending on how that goes. I mean, that's 5 to 1 risk reward based on a stop in there, but you might not use that stop. I'd actually manage this manually by looking at it, taking the trade, looking at price action, looking at the indicators, seeing if it did go my direction. If it didn't, what was going against me. If I was in the wrong, then closing it manually wherever and wouldn't care about it. But I'd never let it go beyond there when I haven't made that decision. But I'd expect to get a better risk reward actually off this trade and close it manually myself, to seeing how it goes if it didn't work out. And I'd be looking at that as a 5 to 1. It's nearly like, so that's a good trade, that's a money maker, and that would pay your bills. That sort of thing would pay my bills. It could be a lot better than that, you know. Could get a lot better than that. If, for example, this goes again to the 1414, having broken through all those, you're looking up, and it's the previous up to the golden pocket there, and it goes up to 1950, and that's like, maybe you keep a little bit on the table for that. And this looks like it could do something like that, because that doesn't even break this overall structure. You've already had your like rounded top, right? You've had your triple top within it, and all of that nonsense. This is different, right? This is different from other things that we look at a lot. And it led to this, obviously there's a period of divergence between these two tops, and then this one as well. It's led it to retracing back below its ultimate lows, putting in new all-time lows, but these ones are divergent. This looks like it's got a bit going. It's a good trade, and if you're getting in right now, excellent, excellent, excellent. So that's RIDE. Good news for RIDE. What's next? CLF and other things. What time is it? Well, I fucking didn't use that time, not efficiently. CLF. I've got this on the charts already. Excellent. So if I got drawings on it, it would save me some time. Where are you? Down 1%. Made a new all-time highs recently. This is a crazy uptrend. It looked like this when we were talking about this, and it might come back in here. What were we talking about here? Oh, there's a lot of different things on the go. This was this. What's this longer term? Let's go up. Weekly. Not all-time highs. No, nothing like it. Oops. Right, what did we say about this? I hope we said go long on it. What did we say? And was it lower at that time? Why are you doing that? Boom, 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 boom. Right, I might have to come back to the other ones so that I can give you GME and AMC their proper times and do the clip before closing. Right, so This is tracing the 8 period moving average up. As we said, that's very bullish when it's doing that. It dropped below it once, back above it again. It keeps going. It's above the 236. That's very positive. It dropped below it, came back above it. On you go. And the next top of this might be, you'll be looking for something around there on this time frame. Say 27 might be a little dink up there before it goes on anywhere else. Obviously this is a reason for that. It's obviously support and resistance over here as well, and here, and touch dink, and then that breakout move which took it to its all-time high. This is going to be an area for it to have to break, and may have already got close enough and come back at 127. That's not all that crazy. It's above the full retracement of the one. That's okay. That's okay. See, it's just made it to the 886. If it doesn't make it further than that, it's going to at least come back down and test 1891. You really want it to hold there. A higher low could do that, and touch the 55 period moving average on the weekly, and then you'd be looking at it coming in at 578, and then those would be both two good entries for this potentially, because that was a good move. And that was a bearish at the end of it though, so yes, I do expect a good retrace on this. Didn't have anything like that before. May well be, and it would if it was me. I wouldn't mind if I got this at the 236 here, and that would be my trade on this one. Other people would take it other places, but not me. I would take it there, take it there, take it there. I'd break it down like this, and then I'd look for some sort of, there would be my low. Don't want to go beyond that. Fuck's sake. Take it there. Don't even want to actually take it there. Actually, I don't even need it, because you've got these areas, you don't need that. There. And that's your trade. Whoops. That's your trade testing these levels again, right? Coming. It's your 886 though, so maybe you're only taking that to the 618. There's your first breaker off a taking target. It's only a 2.6, but after that you could close 50%. Take everything you'd put into that off the table, and put your stop up again at like this area at the 382, this previous low. See if anything gets down below it, and that would be where I'd enter it afterwards. Move my stop to there if it got back in profit. Take 50% off the table if we got up to 19 bucks. Again, shoot it for a retrace at first to 8, and then I'd take everything that I'd put in out again, leave it with house money, and see how it ran with my stop there. And previously, let's see if it comes up and tests these other areas, because it can go up to about 40 bucks. It easily could do that, and it wouldn't be breaking structure. And if it breaks there and goes beyond, right, that's only the 1414. When I say only, it could do that. It could then go all the way up. Could again go up to the 2414, but that's crazy to start talking about that now. These are the areas to look to. That's your trade for that one. And there's now, what time is it? 42 minutes past. Hi, I'm Tradespotting, and this is a clip for busy folks. We'll first look at AMC, because why not? Had a huge rise up on the weekly and then a big drop back. But what's been happening today? Well, it's up 12.5%, and here is the daily time frame. That in and of itself isn't a huge deal. It is a bullishly engulfing candle though, is it? Let me see. No, it isn't, unfortunately. Neither side of it, and it hasn't reclaimed the 236 yet, which is to be expected with this thing if it's going up in that violent of moves, and you're getting halts and whatnot. That is to be expected. It's very positive to go up 12% in a day, and it'll get very people enthusiastic, so we'll see how time goes for it. Your 0.236 comes in at $34.66. It's important to recapture that. If you can open and close a daily above 35.25 within one of this, so tomorrow, and then your week finishes up at 35.25, that would be a bullish engulfing on the daily, and a higher low on the weekly would come in. Would have hidden bullish divergence at that stage too, and an open and close there on the daily is likely to take you then back up to $42, and that's what you're looking at AMC at the minute. That wick is a very bullish wick already on the week. It's already a very bullish wick. This on the daily, that's a very bullish wick again. As you saw, it's enough to usually cause some sort of a move. That one took it relatively far. This one probably similar. You're looking for it to come in. It probably makes it to 236. As I say, that's at $42. It's still a lower high on the daily time frame, and so it's not all that inconceivable. On the 4 hour, you can see that it would maybe have problems making it above the 382 at this stage. All this downward horizontal that's coming in. You've got obvious downward diagonal. You've got this obvious horizontal here from 1 touch, 2 touch, 3 touch, and there's a big important area for the breakdown. So that sort of area, and then a retracement to 236, and it could sit around there, and you're still in a period of consolidation. I'd fully expect that to happen. So prices between 37 and 34 is likely where a bullish move takes you off the back of this. In the 15 minutes, you can see that that has not been all that sustained. Higher lows, sure. You've captured the 50 period moving average. You've got the 28 period following up. That's good. Stay with the 8. Stay with the 8. Break the 200. 36. Stay with it and open and close an hourly even above 37. And you'll see it at 40, 42. I wouldn't expect to see it going up above 46, 47 without some sort of a retracement, whether it's to those levels we talked about before or some other level of support is put in between then and now. So things looking good for AMC. You had bullish divergence at the bottom of this low in your RSI, and I don't know if you can't really see that, make it out, but I can tell you that you had also really a positive sign on the MACD there, and if this is an uptrend, then you're going to get a little bit more on it too, and that's why I say these slightly higher levels. So interesting, looks okay. I'm quite positive about AMC at the minute. That's your AMC TA, and then if you know me, then you know I think the GME 5% today, retesting this downward sloping diagonal. That's positive. Having broken through it, you could have expected to do that. This is also a divergent low, bullish divergence here, nowhere near as far on RSI. You'd have to hope this turns into an uptrend to confirm all that. One of the other things you would look to do, as we were talking about previously, to confirm uptrends, downtrends and whatnot, is to look to Fibonacci resistance levels. This is your previous high, this is the most recent low. You're looking to recover 156.86, and that's where you'd love to see price action open and close a daily above. Getting there on a daily and closing just below it, that would be fantastic. That would be fucking fantastic. This move back, it's got nothing wrong with it. It's just there, come up, inside, oversold once, twice, 3 times. It does turn around there. It doesn't mean it's the end of the world. Sure, there's been this signature of it recently that it does turn around there once, twice, 3 times, but this is a higher high with a higher low. Sure, it's lower than there, but it's got areas to come back from on RSI. You've just gone below the center line. It would be nice to see that pop up again at the end of the day. We've got 12 minutes for that to happen. I'd like to see that happen. Pop up there a wee bit at the end of the day, yeah. Doesn't even have to get all the way up there. It just sit around on 5486. That recovers at the center line, and it's now got a positive slope perhaps coming in on it. I would like to see that very much. There is a touch of divergence on your MACD, but not so much on your RSI, and just one of them isn't enough. You've got this coming up on the potential kiss/cross there. You'd like to see this ADX turn up. It doesn't necessarily have to right now. You'd certainly like to see the DI positive turn up and the DI negative go down, so that this looked like a positive kiss rather than a negative cross. At that stage, it doesn't necessarily dictate much for price action, though. This was a positive period, and then the previous one to that was when here. Not all that dissimilar. I know it's at the other end of the price action, but it's not all that dissimilar. So that could be a positive signature. Also, you would expect to see some sort of divergence after this sort of a move, and a retest is positive. You've got this coming back, touching the 50 period moving average. You're also touching this area of this was horizontal it's broken out of. 30 minutes go up. See positive signs on the MACD. You've got no problem there anymore. On the RSI here, that's good. It's a center line. It's recovered. It's below its own moving average. But if it recovers that as it's going into the oversold zone, this will be fantastic, and it will push up to 161. Never mind 156.86. Let's see it get there though. Let's fucking see it get there. 12 minutes. What's left now? 10 minutes. That orange line's not as relevant as where I'm going to drop this one, which is where price action is. It's also this test. Come on. Come on. Right, so that's what GME is up to at the minute. As you can see at the top there, you've got the orders on algo flow. This is the dark pool option chain, and you can see that AMC's had a couple of buys and a big sell. That big sell came in previous to another big buy. If I scroll down here, do you get that? Is that your highlighted window? Is that updating as I move? Not sure if it is or not. Well, there's AMC came in. There's a couple of option contracts. There was a split trade that was a buy. There was a block trade that was a buy on the dark pool. Both of those for hundreds XXXXXX 73,000 paid on a premium twice. And then before that, 2.6 million, huge buy. That's those three calls are huge. There's one put in there, and then AMC, they're all relative to AMC, and there's nothing happening on the option flow with regard to GME that's popping out right at the minute. But these alternative trading systems do have 24 hours to report their trades, and so that's worth bearing in mind. Here's this one. This moves as I scroll, don't it? Right, so that was when on the 21st of the 5th, and since then you've had more negative ones come in. So these are the positive ones I was talking about. Where are they? What is this? What are you doing there? That's that old data or what? Close that. That's still this one here. Okay, right, so well, here we are. There's two orders that have come in. Sweeps. They were small puts. They were usually people reacting quickly to market makers offsetting their position. Then you had a call. It was a strong 58k came in. That was a sweep order. I suppose that's either side of your two previous. And then before that, you had 183 and 712 premium paid in puts. Came in for not much premium. Quite a lot of shares there. 1,500 sweep trade. What are they paying on a premium? 125 grand for the call before it's 712 grand for that one. So that's a huge sweep order going across multiple exchanges. Likely market makers hedging on a rise, so we're not hedging but offsetting their risk, and that's how that tends to work. Dark pool option data is often long is short and short is long because you're doing it from a market maker's perspective. If we're back to GME though, and just there didn't happen to be any info on that for us right now. 153.11. You want to see that go up? I do. I want to see that go up. I think you've got all the reason to do. I think you've got reason to go at least to 156 and try that. Maybe that this ends up being a doji candle. 30 minutes. You've not got enough time to see much there, but tomorrow it would change your 15-minute bullish engulfing. Go on, you boy. Go on, you boy. Yes. And then what else have we got down here? We can see, is it this one? No, it's not this one. It's up here. You guys have got it. I'll make it bigger so it shows up more. And then drop it here. Sorry. Right, so there's a timeline out of the way, and you can see this is the institutional order flow on the dark markets, and here we can see the difference between, I'm just doing it on, this is the right one here, is this it? Am I on the right one? Yes, I am. As you can see, there's a strong uptake in institutional interest at the minute. The prices and the markets that you can't see and don't have access to, where the bastards that run the world control this ship and manipulate it, they're going long. They're buying a lot of it. It's broken its previous resistance here. Look, lower high, lower high. Where is that on price action? That's lower highs on the price action behind here. I'll show you what that looks like. And this is how you get the bastards, right? This is the added value that's coming here. It's fucking awesome, right? I would fucking love to be watching this right now. And I am, right? I am watching it right now. Where is that? Which one did I turn off to get that to go off? This one? Yeah, and as you can see, right, so on that orange line, if you were looking at it, the previous two areas, there was a lower high in here, and there was a lower high in and around here. Your crosshair, my crosshair is only just briefly showing up there, but you got this W pattern with the highs within it, the left, the middle, and the right. And on the institutional order flow, what you can see is they've actually already broken through their previous highs, right? They've broken through their previous highs. Higher, this is it, lower high, it's now higher, right? This is a sign that our high, our previous resistance can get fucked, and we're going up. That's really good fucking news, right? That's really good fucking news. You bastards, see? I knew you'd get you fucking bastards. Look like on the 15-minute time frame, right? Well, price action has been picking up for retail. We can see that there's a downward slope there on the institutions, upward slope on retail. So there's divergence, but that means dink, 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 dink. Lower highs, lower highs, lower highs. Let's see. Let's take this down to the 1 minute and see that retracement. This lower high here. I've got too many frickin' window open. Where's that window going? Here we are. Don't want it on that. Nope, that's the wrong one. That's AMC's institutional order flow. Whoa, I didn't do that. I forgot. Right. And can I stretch this chart out? Come on, you stupid thing. Adjust scale. I'm clicking it. Pff, you're kidding me. Institutional and our us and them, right? It's in an uptrend. It's breaking its previous highs, them especially, and on the other time frames, which have now totally messed up with my scaling. I should have done this before the chat started. Move it over to what's actually happened, huh? Right. Yeah. Anyway, on the lower time frames, this is breaking its highs. Institutional higher highs. On the actual retail, we're not seeing that yet. It's very bullish. It could be that post market you get good moves. 154, 52. Come on, to fuck, just go there. It's 5 seconds left in this minute, and then 3 minutes in this day. You know, people getting fucking robbed in front of my fucking eyes. Bastards, like, they just know already ahead of it, and they're able to get it, and then we have to wait and get it after. Tiny downtick here. Is that because prices are going to move up and they'll meet each other? Or is it because enthusiasm has died institutionally? Doubt it. It's only going to come back and test its previous high. If I could drop in a horizontal here, I would do. And say this is testing its previous high where it broke out from, and then they're going to fucking buy it again. 3 minutes left. Do we get any of that? Do we get any chocolate on our biscuit? Does that come through to us? Dark Pool Fund. Rob Davis. Thanks very much, Rob. Joe Legend. You're a legend. I was thinking if one day if the audience gets big enough and not want to burden anyone too much, then I'll get a Bloomberg terminal back and I'll be able to do all the magic I used to do at work, and then we'll see some serious fucking shit on the go. Right. Thanks, Epiphany. Things are much better now. Thank you. Now I just want my money, Ken. Failure to deliver. How are you doing, failure to deliver, man? Good to hear things are better. Good to hear. Drink, he said my name. Dinky Donk. I really want Moon. Moon sounds very nice. When Moon? Ha! Harriet. Harriet, are you new here? Are you new here, Harriet? Hey, so there's your 15 minutes. Back at 1350. Your 5 minutes. There you go. Go for it, mate. That's like turning around. It's got this lower high, but it's got what's going on there. Let's see. It's this horizontal. It's important. That diagonal is only so accurate. That was good breaking above here on that move, and it only took us to that 236. Didn't manage to hold it. Back down again. 50 periods across the 200. That's a good move. And in the last minute of the day, you've got all the reason to go up, mate. Every fucking reason to go up. If you go up beyond here, in 60 seconds, then, well, I'll be well impressed. Right, so that's essentially the TA for Busy Apes. I could have even made it busy, like slightly quicker, and sorry I didn't actually, because I kind of forgot what I was doing. But yeah, AMC, GME covered in 15 minutes or less, as I promised. Actually, it's 16 minutes, so I probably broke that promise. And as we get to see price action finish for the day, I'll end the video and say thank you very much. Not this stream, just the live clip. Go back and look at the other things people requested and say thanks very much for stopping by, for watching the video. I appreciate you. Please click like. Please tune in to one of the live streams and get to know the rest of the people who enjoy this thing live. And if you can't because you're too busy, then I totally understand. And hopefully you'll be able to give up that shitty day job soon and come and ruin the bastards that are trying to ruin the world. Stephanie's legendy. Okay, right, if markets closed, they've got bing, bing, bing. They closed 153.46. Not bad, mate. Not bad at all. And on the daily time frame, zoom in, get a little bit of an accurate picture. We've got some green on the go. Green on the go. Tested this area. It's all the reason in the world to bounce. All it needs to do now is capture that 236. Now, what did we say? We're looking for volume. Volume is people. People are stupid. Stupid does as stupid sees. And stupid needs to see us start doing some good stuff. And good stuff is capturing this 0.236 Fibonacci, which is in at around $157. Give or take a few cents. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. That's the busy people clip. Bing. So that's that finished. Right. What else was we going to look at? Just get yourself fired for something epic. Do it with style. Nice. Or just quit in style. And that's not advice. You know, keep your job. Tradespotting, your dark pool consumed your screen. Shit, did it cover it during the whole fucking went back to doing the extra shit and that and nobody could see it? Oh, God. Oh, God. Silly me. Silly me. That means the video's crap and I can't just drop it out there either because people will be like, Jamie, the end of it was all like that, as if I don't know in all the comments. But whatever. Guess I'll just... Shaggy Poo. Tradespotting, haven't seen shit but dark pool institutional screen the last 5 minutes. Yep, sorry. We're still on the flow trade screen. Yep, banana freeze. Wyckoff breakdown on the JAMA. On the JAMA, Wycroft breakdown. Do a Wycroft breakdown. It's a bit late for that. A bit late in the evening time for a whole proper Wyckoff breakdown. I can tell you that the Wyckoff theories at the minute, there isn't a proper one to the downside. There just isn't. And if anything that was existing in it will be completely blown away when we open and close weeklies above 343. The Wyckoff stuff, you've seen me do this before, right? It's done on Go figure fannies, that's what I call it. It's a point and figure chart. That's how you do Wyckoff. You remove the x-axis and you look at this and you see, is that distribution? No, it's got higher lows the whole way through. Forever and ever and ever it's had higher lows. There has never been a Wyckoff distribution on this. Literally has never been a real one. I know I'm on the daily time frame here and that's where you do it ideally. And there's never been one, right? There's just never been one. Anyone talking about that's wrong. And you'll also have Wyckoff accumulation confirmed when you get your weekly candle open and close above 343. And like that's the long and short of the Wyckoff theory on GME, and anyone telling you different is doing it wrong. That's the answer. So there's the Wyckoff answer, short and sweet. I'm working, so only listening, can't see the screen. Just hearing the busy TA was great as well, even if the screen was off, as I hear Tradespotting. Haha, Vic Vince, thank you very much. I wonder if the busy folks will appreciate it. They won't. They'll think it's incompetent mess. Fred, you will miss out on the GME. Don't miss out, Fred. Can you look at Bibi, Jimmy? Yeah, certainly, Amber. Certainly can, Amber. Right, looking at it, looks good. Nice. Haha, jokes. Right, okay, what are we looking at here? That was not bad. That's a W bottom. It's touched the 200. Touched it once, twice, 3 times. You've got divergence once, twice, 3 times. You've got divergence on the MACD. This is on the daily time frame. I love this. I think it's going well. I gave people a trade on this with an entry you'll have now got. Why is it gone off my screen? I gave people a great trade on this. Like, and this is one that you can make fuckloads of money on. I think I said, yeah, 1470, 14, that area, that's kind of what I was looking at, and your stop loss is dead fucking easy because you're 200, and there you're in it already, and that trade's great. And if anyone who's looked at this will remember, this is what I was saying, right? What was I saying? Anything elsewise? Weekly time frame, what we look at, you jump, really obvious what's going on here. I like doing these on weekly because I fucking hate them everywhere else. Air body close, body, awesome, that's a real line. This is a lower high, but that's reflected in all of your oscillators there. You've got potential for a golden cross to come up with a 50 going through the 200 on the weekly. If that fucking happens, you know, it's the first golden cross you'll have had that's of any use to this thing in nearly 4 years. You'll also have other good news. Amber, $5. Few alms towards the dark pool fund. Well, thank you very much for the alms. I love the alms. These nice, these alms. I can grow to love alms. Hit the 50 period on the daily time frame. You had your golden cross and did all those positive moves, and this is the first time you're having them two come into close to each other at the same time. Prices action is trapped between them. We'd expect to see it pop beyond one side or the other. This side it's tried the bottom once, twice, 3 times lower lows with divergence, it's up the top side again. At the top side it's had, if we're in a downtrend, divergence, so it's in flux. You want to see it capture that 50 period, you want to see it then break horizontal resistance. That truly comes in and around here. When you look to the left, you get extra confirmation of that because there's confusion between which of these would be more important, and so that's where you take your information from. It's also where the 55 is at the minute. I don't think that's all that relevant. Not that I think it's not all that relevant. I mean, I've got it on my charts. I think it's relevant to use it. It's just these are all going to trump out these things at the minute, especially if you come in for some sort of positive reaction on these. Well, let's see. Actually, let's add on a little bit of blub extra information. Have I done something wrong? This is probably somebody telling me my chart, Rocky telling me my chart was covered. No, it's people sending me nice messages. Right. So, plenty of reasons for that, as well as your 618 golden pocket catching it there. You've also got horizontal reasons why 1257 might be a little area. You've also got these horizontal support and resistance here, right, which I imagine are going to start showing up. It's important in a second. Sail away. That took you down. Ha, Enya. That took you down. Fuck off, Enya. Right, that took you down to. That's that low. Is that right? That low. Yes. And then you've got to recover that area too. So that's also your 236 equivalent with a 618, as it so often is. And you're going to have to recover that area in order to get your move any further. And it may well be the bounces down there, may well be. So there's your first take profit area must come in at $12.50, give or take, right? It must do for safety's sake. If you're trading this for profits and not hodling it for whatever reason, then you're looking to break this paw to previous body close and that. And I take a lot of profit off there. I might keep a little bit on, move my stop up at that point, probably to say you got to here, right? I take profit. I take at least 33% profit of this trade at this area, $12.50. I wouldn't wait for the extra 16 cents that you could get. And I'd move my stop at that point up to 10.82 so that I was always in profit on this trade and wouldn't lose anything. I'd already made money, and when fearing if it went bad was likely to make more, or guaranteed, in fact, to make more. Then I'd keep a little bit on, because this could go fucking crazy, you know, this really could go crazy from these levels, and it's hard to predict it, you know. as it is to predict crazy is hard. You've got horizontal resistance on the left that might likely take a little bit more profit. I'd definitely watch it and see what happens and use some sort of limit order. Up here, you're looking to get to the 618, and that's your gain confluent with your previous peak, and your body closes highest up here before this shooting star type thing. So yes, so there's your move there. You keep a bit of profits, so you can take bits of profits, keep it on the table, then you go up there, and that's where you're looking for a 618 retrace on that. Might be you even go beyond there, right? This is a drop down from this move, and there's also other Fibonacci levels within here that may be interesting, but I'm sure that they'll come in confluent with these sort of lines I've already drawn, and then the 382 and the 0.5 of this one. So you could look at them, and I'm sure you would if you were doing really close analysis on things. But this move, if it's really positive, let's go and say it goes on and breaks its previous all-time high here from 29th of January. And I'm saying all-time high because, like, you know, it's not all-time high, it's just since the highest it had been since maybe 2011, right? That's how high that would be. If it got higher than here, no, it would be higher. It would be higher than 2011 November, and this high here that we had put in at the start of this year. So at that area, I'd look at to go on above and test 1414. I mean, the moves on this are fucking crazy. Easily, it could go on up to $41. This is a big fucking mover, this thing. It's got a lot to go on it. Like, it's got so much it could go. So much it could go on it. Yeah, I wouldn't rule out a 2618 on that either. And that's up at $62.69. H. Jones, got to run. Big love and cheers. High five, H. Jones. Tradespotting, we can't see price levels. Oh, God, fuck's sake. That's been all episode then. Well, I've said the price levels. I'm sure I've said them out loud when I've been doing this, though. Fuck's sake, man. See, before I started the stream, I was already going, and I completely messed everything up, and the computer crashed, so I had to restart everything. Then all my windows were lost, and then I was resetting them all up again. And some of them take ages to load. The dark pool stuff just takes ages to load. I don't know what servers are using or that. Daniela Science super chatted $5. I've missed shitloads of this. I'm so sorry. Rob Davis Portrait Fun, thank you. Pretham7 super chat $5. Oh, that was about TLRY, yep. Or asking me why. Amber $5. Few Alms Pretham again, $5. TTCF and LCID, please. Cool, TTCF and LCID. What else have I got to do? I know I missed one earlier. What was that, chaps? Does anyone remember? And then I'll also try and do these ones for Pretham. And then probably call it day. I can't believe I fucked up that Busy Apes clip. That was stupid of me, man. It's grand, you've been saying the price levels and they're on the fibs as well. Yes, exactly. As Dink pointed out, awesome. Thank goodness, people. I've not been reading the chat enough. I'm stupid and I'm sorry for doing that. That was my bad. Again, I seem to be doing a lot of that recently. Yes, the price levels are on the Fibonacci's here in the brackets. There's bracketed numbers, if you can see them. Probably you can't see them. And the font doesn't get bigger as I make the chart bigger either. Like there should be some element of that, right? You'd think there'd be a tiny relationship. Right, SOFI, NEGG, TTCF and LCID. Cool, right. Thank you very much, Case. Thank you very, very much, Case. You're probably juggling a lot of things at the minute. Thanks. SOFI, happy to look at you. Happy to look at you, cause I got a little bit. Yeah, so this is what we were talking about yesterday, and I got a little bit of it, and then today, not great, 2% down, whatever. I mean, I had to go down a little bit to get my orders, so I can't blame them too much. Touched the 8-period moving average. It's only just come on. It's not got all that much going on there. You're in this overall equilateral triangle, equilateral by name, equilateral by nature. It's like as much chance of breaking out one side as the other. Joined the GME club today, bought X shares finally. Congratulations. Fucking brilliant. Eddie Brock, joining the family. Yes. Welcome, Eddie. Welcome, Eddie. A friend for life there. One of us, Eddie. Eddie Brock. Good on you, my friend. Good on you. And you got them cheap. So congratulations. Good day to buy. TA still badass, man. Thank you, Justin. Thank you. And Tradespotting. Screen was just blocked for the last minute, so I think not so important. Don't worry. Blocked. Blockhead. Where have my tickers gone? They're just not up because I'm on all the things. Fabulous. TradingView. You're fabulous. You are. 1606 weekly time frame. Looks top down to the 2-day, and you can see that's fine. Come up. Weakening momentum, positive trend RSI out of the oversold. Not fantastic yet, but then what do you expect to see on a 2-day time frame for something that's been around for 15 seconds? Let's drop down to the daily. Obviously, plenty of reasons for a bounce. This is a W bottom. Obviously, it's obviously good. You've got a positive cross in the MACD. You've got a degree of bullish divergence. Positive moves there. You've got bullish divergence. Nah, just a convergent low. That was all very positive and healthy moves. Something similar. Yeah, you could see that. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. This is doing good too. You know, you got the right signal here as you do here. So it's accumulating. If it can manage to make it above the center line, hold that, consolidate above the center line on the RSI. Then you could get a good extension on this move, and the 236 comes up at 1972, and it seems like a stick on that it would at least go for that. This is a very equal opportunities triangle, as I say. You know, good moves up, where it's just like it might come back a wee bit, but it's still going on, touch the top, and then big move down. It might go back a bit, but it goes on, takes maybe 1, 2, 3 more, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 more, touches the bottom, goes up. You know, doesn't quite make it. 1, 2, 3 does it. Cool. 1, 2, I did it quite quickly there. Anyway, some sort of retrace at least to like in and around the middle of this here, and you can see the 236 really comes in and splits price action and defines the corridor it's been trading in. When it's below it, it often touches the bottom. When it's above it, it touches the top, and in there at the center line, it's where it tries to recover, and it's where it manages to confirm its breakthrough, and that's where it breaks down again. So I'd expect to see it come up and test there and check the strength of the move at the time, and that's up at 1976, which is like a couple of bucks away from where it is now. This is a good move. It's a good trade. I'm in it. Probably a tiny little bit underwater there. 4 hour. That's good. Tested the 8 period moving average, and that's held it open in there as you've got your MACD and center line signaling coming through the center. You want to see more momentum on your histogram. You've got a positive signature on the RSI there, holding the center line. This is good. It's a nice chart. 4 hours. It's nice and smooth. 30 minutes. 8 period 55. Got a kiss there, ADX pointing down. You want to see this at the center line resolve positively with the DI plus turn up and the ADX go. It doesn't actually have to fucking go up yet, it could keep going down, but you do want to see the ADX points up, and you want to see this put some form of a lower high in it to go up and test these these higher buckaroos. 1736 and then 19 to 1960 is the areas you'd be looking at. Nothing wrong with this. Perhaps even bullish to a degree there, which explains that. Well, that happened on what? No volume. I mean, I've got the volume indicator on. I put it on. Just gone somehow. Anyway, here it is. Yeah, there's your starting volume. The trend changed. Things look good. That's good. It's also higher volume seen for a while. In fact, in this whole period of consolidation at the bottom, that's the most volume we've seen. That's the starting volume. The trend has changed. Let's see with this thing. Yes, a good trade. Hopefully, yes. And if you haven't entered this is I mean, I don't know financial advice, and I'm not giving financial advice. There's a 50 period. It's crossing up above the 200 period. No, it's only 30 minutes, but sure, it's like possible you get it, right? That's your entry. Your stop there could just be below this area here, this previous low there, and then your move, you're looking on this, at least I'd be looking for the 236, and then I'd be taking some profit on it, but it could easily go to the top of this triangle again if it opens and closes above there. So I'd leave something on. I'd move my stop up. I'd move it up to in around this $16.90. What Fibonacci is that? I'm going to have to change that because it's all wrong, that Fibonacci. It's not going to take a move to that Fibonacci. That's still the horizontal on the left, so all that stuff I did is relevant, but that Fibonacci there is wrong. There's the low on that. Where's the high on it? No, is this taken from somewhere else? Oh, that's the low I want to be doing. No, it's not. This is the wrong way round. Delete that Fibonacci. Go out of my face. Go out of my face. Thanks. Unless because it's only been around 5 minutes, take the actual all-time high. That was its low after. Yeah, okay, great. So your 236 is just there. It's a lot easier. What the fuck was that all one about? Right, so yeah, you touched off it once there. That's perfectly natural. You come back and test these. Either it's the 50 or the 200. That's totally understandable. It's very good, and it is actually. If it gets caught up by the 55 and doesn't even get there, you still want to see it. Then only needs to open above 1672. It does a 4 hour above 1672. You're fucking laughing, right? You're probably laughing about this for a while. It could easily go beyond that level. That's your center line there for. You might actually look to there because, as we said before, when I thought it was a 236, it's where all your previous levels of testing, if you're on the top or the downside of the move, come in at. It's quite obvious there looking at it. So there's where I would take some profit on that, in around those levels, that green line. Some, but I'd also leave some on, and I'd aim for the 618, which isn't a crazy move. It's also within this triangle that we're talking about. It's all cool, and then you've got yourself. What is that? How many to 1 is that risk reward? And it looks good, and it's got the right things on the go, and I want to check the MACD and so on in a minute on this time frame, but that's a risk ratio of what? Go away. 8 to 1, 8.5 to 1, 9 to 1, that sort of thing. Yeah, it's nearly 10 to 1. Yeah, it's a nice trade. It's going to be nice. It's going to be nice. Anyway, you can manage this with stop losses and whatnot. If it goes beyond this area, you could do something with it. Also, though, it's like historical lows in this bit of it, and it's probably going to go up. This is like reasonable formation to aim for a trade within the range, and trading within the range is how you do it if you want to make money. If you're trading the trend and you're trading within a range, then it's really a lot easier on yourself. So 618, and that's what you're looking for, and it could be awesome. This move could be. Well, let's check. You had the divergence. You had a triple bottom, and you had a W pattern, and you had the divergence, and you're reaccumulating at center line, and you've got the same picture on the MACD with regards to the divergence, the positive strength on that, and as we looked at, the signature was very similar to when we were inputting our previous lows, so that's quite good. TA on SOFI there overall through the time frames, looking at loads of different indicators, and even giving you these fucking moves like this. Go above and beyond. I'm going there. That's true. That is true. Right, what else was I going to look at? I was going to look at something else. What was it? What was it? It was 2 things left, or 1 thing or 2 things left. That's it, though. I'm not adding other things on. Where is it? I ate my job. Thanksgiving for it. But it's dangerous, so I'm quitting on the MOASS. Dangerous job. Simone doing the dangerous work. Good on you, Simone. Do you enjoy it? Nope, I hate my job. Okay. Yeah, well, so many people trapped in jobs they don't like, and or aren't suitable for them or their lives, and you only get one life, and it's so hard to judge the responsibilities and juggle them with your goals and hopes and dreams. It's very hard, and it's also very difficult to say get the social mobility from starting a business when you have to spend a lot of time at a job because you have responsibilities. So it's very difficult to improve your lot when you're in a job if that job itself doesn't give you any opportunity. So, and you're like the vast majority of people there, Simone, that you don't enjoy the position you're in. It is very difficult, and that's probably, one of the motivators why a lot of people come here, is to learn how to do things so that they don't have to do that job anymore, which is what you can do. I'm a walking, talking, jibber jabbering real life proof of that you can pay your bills by doing this. TA does work. It can help you manage your risk to the point where you can make a living from it, but it does take a long time to get there, maybe a couple of years. So giving up the job because you're going to be a trader it's not something that you can do just as and when you make the decision. It has to come after you've put in the effort to learn and know that you won't just be landing yourself in the shitter and have to go back to that job at the end of the day having lost all your money. So get into a sustainable position with your trading, and then being able to sack the job and the wanker that tells you what to do is definitely a good goal. And I definitely want to help every single one of you get there. None of you have to work for the man, if I can help it. 25% of my portfolio is memes. Tradespotting, what do you do and Rocky do for fun or hobbies? We trade. We work on picnic. We see our mum or dads. Less time with friends now as you get older. Much less. Very infrequently we'd see mates. Once or twice a year, really, it seems to go that sort of level. And just working, trying to improve our lot and to make things better for ourselves. Rocky's got a chronic health issue, so hopefully things get better and I can help him and he can keep going, and then overall improve the quality of his life and I'll improve mine, then better able to take opportunity. Just like, a lot of people think, well, when I've got more money I'll be better able to take advantage of all the fun opportunities, enjoy myself. There's also a little bit of health in that as well. So those things. But what do we do for fun? I don't really play computer games, though I did get one a while ago that I'm looking forward to finally at one time having a go at. Have we not looked at Wish? No, we haven't. I'll look at Wish. What else do I do for fun? What do I do for fun? Context logic. Okay, context logic. You fucking arsehole name that is, seriously. But I'll let your ticker. Wish upon a star. Right. You've got this. We'll not start on that time frame. That's just useless. Let's start on this time frame, get an extra picture of things. What else do I do for fun? I'm the sort of person that's all or nothing with stuff, so starting businesses and changing the world. That's what I do for fun, right? That's it. That's my life now. Until such times as I've done that'll be my fun. Is this and getting ready for this and talking about doing this, looking at stuff, and then trading to life. And what else? When the weather's good, I do get a little bit of sunshine, try to do things outside, and I live in a very nice place, so a little walk here and there and stuff like that. Whatever, right? Just take time. And got cocoa every so often. That's fun, yes, definitely. Cocoa. What else? I don't really watch movies or TV shows or any of that shit anymore either. Don't have a TV. I have one. It's a massive fuck off TV just over there. Takes up most of this fucking room. It's huge, but I've never plugged it in. It's that there, unplugged. With me thinking, why did I get a big massive TV? And what else? I don't know. That TV's a while ago, I didn't just oh yeah, great, I've got some money, I'll buy a TV. No, I'm not that sort of fanny. You just have it. And actually I've offered it to my mum, but she's like, that's horrifyingly large, I don't want that. So I don't know. That's not really what I do for hobbies. I don't get to do as much stuff as I might have done, a couple of years ago before all this shite started, and you're able to just get up and go and do stuff. That sort of freedoms aren't as available at the minute. This thing's only been around for so long, and it's been in a constant downtrend. If I hadn't seen this volume, right, which is on there, and I have seen the volume, but if I was to cover that up, I'd say this is an utter piece of shit. But this is called starting volume. The only time anyone's been interested in this thing is when it's dropped down here. So at this point, people think maybe there's some value in it. Okay. Fair enough with that. This is a lower high off here. Is it high lower though? We can't say the trend has necessarily changed yet. You're not getting anything on this indicator, and that's nothing, right? So weekly is not telling you much. 3-day ADX is incredibly low there. It could turn around to be positive. This has done okay. Some strength seen in RSI, but you'd need to recover the center line to confirm that it's been anything. And then you've already got this little peak just before there, which is a little bit annoying. This is what I say when you've not got much to go on. You've got this one here below it, the peak just underneath it. Prices went down. This one peaked just above it. Prices went down. 3D shit. Look at the 2D. Well, that was a positive that it tried that. Haven't done that. 55 catching it, cool. 8 period. You want to open and close above that, and that's really easy. Just do that, mate. This high or low is not actually confirmed yet, obviously. Some things to look at, obviously. Oh, scratch that back on there. See, this is the problem with this recovering the 236. Like, and I want you to close candles that are significant over and above the 236, but when the candles themselves end up being dojis, or like two dojis in a frickin' row, or a doji with a downward bearish, like looking wick at the top of this move and turning it some sort of hammer, that's not great. Then this doji, and then the next one broke below it. It's like shit. Also, during that, you failed to break your previous high on the left. That's also shit. And you've not got the right signature here yet, though that's good there. You want to see this break that 236. And the MACD is telling you what? Not very much. Daily, here we go. And you had to center line touch capture, recaptured the exponential, keep going, that's positive. DMI, weak trend. Downtrend in ascendancy, but it's weak across on the MACD sign here. No 200 to go on. Not got the right signature here, so overall that's negated, and this is just more of the same. I'd expect it to test its low again at this rate, looking at these things into the 4 hour. In the context of higher high, that's good, and that's at the center line. That's also good. And this is coming up across the center line. You've got positive sense of this. That's good. Negative trend is still in ascendancy, but this is quite high up, and this is a causative flick there. That's good. And this is one of the things that we'd like to see similar to GME, or I think it was we were talking about this sort of thing. As this kiss comes through, especially if it comes through and at the center line you've got a dominant taken over from AD, the DI plus, so that'd be good. And it's 4 hours, so there's something there. There's something. What's that I really say on this? Good, it's already happened. Good, it's already recovered the center line. See, it's already, now you go through it and it's all my secrets are given away, because all the things I've seen, well, hasn't done this, hasn't done that, whatever, and it looks like it's getting closer. Now down at the early, it's done them all, so it's there, like, that just needs to then filter through the higher time frames, which would happen if you had little moves up, and little moves kind of turn into big moves in that sense. So capturing this 200 period here, which you've now got on the 1 hour at 10.79, that's a good sign for this. Easily could take it then to the 236, which comes of the Fibonacci of the big retracement from its ultimate high down, which comes in at around 1358, and that's good. 40% move on this thing from here to there, or thereabouts. I'd be looking at that and I'd be happy. I think that's quite good. So I'd take healthy profits there, probably all of it, and look for a different trade after that with this, because fuck knows. Where would I enter on that? Well, it's at the 50 period now on that 1 hour. That's not bad. It's had a 3.85% up already. Well, already it's had that today. 30 minutes. Yep, you got everything there. Good, just as we were talking about. And that positive. You got a buy signal there. You got a really good buy signal there in the 30 minutes. So it may well be like, if I was trading this, I would take a move that would enter on like a quick sharp 978 type of move, get there, get in, manage my stop manually, in and around to the 950 levels, see what the strength looked like at the time, and if it seemed like this positive move was continuing, then I'd stick with it until it dropped below and drop out of it maybe 940, 938 something if it kept going below there. But I still think you've got a good chance with this, and there's a positive cross as well in 30 minutes. Not that a positive cross is like the 50 crossing the 200. I'd often say on the time frame it's not a daily, I'd say it's a positive cross, because I don't want to say it's a golden cross, because it's not actually right. You know, loads of people just say it, 50 crossing the 200, it's golden cross, or 50, you know. Rocky got frustrated about this about 2 years ago when he was first telling people and learning and what it was that people were getting wrong about the EMA, double EMA moving averages, strategies and stuff, or golden crosses, and they were all calling every possible cross a golden cross. Like, no, that's not right. It's only one of them. It's only the 50 on the 200, and it's only on the daily time frame. So everything else you can call it positive cross, because it is probably, if it looks like this, it would be. But Chris Sweeney needed 4.99 for a set of time for a pint of the black stuff. Holy fuck, that'd be nice now. But really, I don't actually drink all that much either, you know. Really, very rarely do I drink all that much at all. Only on the drinking streams is the only time I've had really any form of even being slightly inebriated, although I was massively pissed. It was only those times in the last few years. I had to step away, scroll back, didn't see it, but did you cover Wish? So this is Wish there. We've sort of covered it now. I'd be looking at that. I think there's a good trade. Take it and manually manage my stop. I think you've got a good entry here already. I'd look for it to move to the 236. It's a 40% move, and that's just off that 30-minute flash off your MACD, plus your stepping up levels and that and whatnot. And you've got some positive news about that turnaround. I wouldn't put much faith in it until you do break your previous highs, so I'd probably take all of my money off that, actually, off that trade there, see how it did. You know, you've got this area here. Is it going to break that in the first pass? I highly doubt it. It'll have a retest, and then after that, if it looks positive, you've got to move to your 50%, which you could take 30% off, and then you could leave some on again, take some more off at the 618, and this would be the sort of thing I'd look to with something like this. If it did start breaking horizontals, I'd look to that move there. I wouldn't go really beyond that yet, because I don't trust any of this shit at the bottom of it, and it's not been around long enough to do that. So that's what I think about that. And did I do all the other lower time frames on this? I did, didn't I? I went through it. There's your volume, starting volume. People got interested in it below the 50 there. Did I do this on the smaller time frames? Oh my god, I can't remember. Down and see it there, 15 minutes. That's positive. Yeah, it must have gone down. Don't know if I went that low. 4 hour, yes. Okay, yes. Yes. Okay, yes. Yeah. So I'd look for that. Look for these levels. Not bad. Not bad if you're in this and you're long for a minute, and then not bad at all. What are you in this anyway, buddy? Tradespotting saving me pennies to attend GME School of Trading Fannies. Simone Cooper. Yes, so I've been working on it. We've done a couple of days worth on it now, actually. Long days worth of putting together a little bit of a course on how to get started with technical analysis, which Rocky will be contributing to as well, and then put it out there as a course. It'll probably charge people. I don't know what's a reasonable amount to charge, because whatever that is, I'll probably charge more than it, and I'll go out there and find out what other people charge for their shit. And I know just from talking to you guys that there's people that pay so much money for stuff that isn't as good as this, and the value of it itself could be very, very valuable. So like, it's up to you guys to tell me how much you think a course like that would be worth. It'll be a proper course that's got all the stuff in it that I think is important to know at the beginning, along with learning outcomes that I'd expect you to achieve at the end of each section of it. Not that there's millions of sections or anything, and that I've kept it brief but important, simple but not stupid, right? Simple, but for the purposes of helping you go on and learn more. If I was to put in another course, or if you wanted to go off and just learn after that point, it's supposed to set you up for that sort of feeling, and not trying to tie you into anything or make you reliant on me. It's very much to empower you. And that's all Rocky's impression about Rocky's approach to it too. So that's the idea. So we'll be doing that. It might take the end of next month before it's all done and that, but it's very good. It's really good. And I'll help you follow along at the very least. And I don't know what's a reasonable price to charge for it. I mean, like, I see people charge stupid prices for indicators and that, and I think that that's kind of immoral.
but the prices they charge are sort of like the narrative for it is like, but this could change your life, and it's like, well, nah, it won't. It won't. But okay, and the reason they charge so much for these things is because it has the potential to do that, and that would be worth a lot. But I'm not here to put my hand in your pocket and that, and I want everything to be accessible to everybody. So the chances are so I take your word for what is a good price. But I know that BAM Investor sells a tool that doesn't work for $1,000. And it's a repeating fee too. I think you have to keep paying it over and over. So, there's people out there setting prices. I just don't know how relevant they are or not. But that's what they are. I would love to join though. Little to have less than $0 until MOASS. Well, GME is my whole savings account. You're like most people out there, Jiu-Jitsu guy, and as such, I'm not forcing nothing on nobody. Please fix on-screen ticker remaining stocks. NEGG. Oh, sugar, why is it? NEGG, TTCF, and LCID. Okay, that's 3 left. On-screen ticker. Thanks for keeping me straight, Keith guy. Why is the on-screen ticker just not working? Why are you doing that, you dickhead? If I go into GME, does it come back? Because I never deleted the thing. No, it doesn't. There it is there. It's just tiny. How did that happen? Is it tiny? Has it disappeared? What is happening to it? Set up, but it's not working. For God's sake. Okay, I got it. You just don't want to play ball. I got it. Please bear with me for 2 seconds. So price, that's one thing, but it's not everything. Certainly is not. And then tick. What's people saying? Monthly, weekly payment options would be pretty epic. Have you seen BAM Investors' early videos? YouTube search the smartest programmer in the world. Solid gold. And I have not seen a single video from BAM Investor. I've just seen that he has a very expensive indicator that doesn't seem to work, and I've seen him promoted by big YouTube channels who themselves, like Trades, who themselves then seem to get some sort of kickback from his people who join his thing. And those people have been promoting him, so he's got like quite a large audience from that type of activity, which is entirely different from me. And I've said, and to stand by this, that his tool's not worth the money he's trying to charge. I think it's $1,000, and that I think it's like for something that doesn't teach you anything in and of itself. It's just like it's supposed to be the answer. I've seen that, over the last many years. I've seen so much of that, so much of it. And like there's the one conversation where you could have a conversation about that indicator to see if it works. And I've had that conversation so many times with so many different people doing exactly the same thing, and none of them ever have over time. That it's just like, well, what's the point? Like, I'm not interested in even having a conversation. The truth is, you want to learn how to do it yourself, and that's why I would put time into putting, like Rocky's indicator, the Rocky Outcrop DMI, is free, and it far more effective, provably way better than the indicator and service that BAM Investor is charging $1,000 for, and Rocky's giving it away for free. And that's the type of thing that's because we want to help you and educate you. That's why that happens. Whereas the other thing, that's because the other person wants to make money. So then there's a happy medium somewhere between something that gives you value and is worth the money, but will empower you to go on and make the most of your life and so on, and won't keep you reliant on me or Rocky. Quite the opposite, will empower you not to be reliant on anybody, and that's you knowing how to do this yourself so that you don't rely on one indicator that somebody tells you. Like everything I use is free. The charting platform, like you can pay for the ads to go away, but I don't upgrade to like extra bells and whistles, because I also don't think those are necessarily worth the money. You know, they are if you're presenting on YouTube and you want extra things or multiple pane windows and whatnot. But this is it. So like that's and I'm now dragged into that conversation. No, I'm not dragged in at all. I'm perfectly willing to have it, but like, and I don't want to draw comparisons between myself and that one person, because there's like completely. No real comparison between us. Like there really isn't. Not really. Nor do I want to piss the guy off or offend him, because like everybody's out there living their life and whatnot. So fair enough, and that you're free to do what you want, and that cool, fine. So that's all I think about that stuff. But there is a big industry out there, you know, and I'm not interested in being part of this industry that like you know, I don't know, right? I want to provide value for people. That's all there is to it, right? Anyway, really, banana fridge, whoop whoop, Rocky Outcrop. No matter what, we want to have a pint with you, Rocky and Ronaldo. Fuck yeah, yo. Right, I have to fix the ticker and do the other things, because Case Guy's like being quite saying it, and it's right. He's right. I nearly got there. I was doing okay so far. So I'm going to go on to new assets, and this is probably going to all break again as soon as I click on them, because of the way that things work. But I tried. Okay, right. I'm not going to add all on the time frames. I'll just say the time frames as I'm talking about them, so that they're clear. And we're going to look at NEGG, TTCF, and LCID. NEGG, surely it's already on the charts. I know I've done it before. Nice. So I probably would have advised caution with this one. Tends to do this sort of thing. These sort of jumps. Once every 5 or 6 years. Starting on the weekly time frame and just seeing what it looks like and what it's been up to, and there's no point going back through any other historical stuff. This is what it's all about from now that it's done this. That's the lows, reasonably accurate. Let's make it better. And this is your high. The wick didn't even manage. This is like body close on that is less. I'm on the linear charts and I've been on them for fucking ages. That's annoying me. Anyway, still all what I did was right, but here we go. Below the 8 period moving average. Wick on that's bullish. A retracement weekly time frame. Not going to get retracement information really here. Well, you can, but it's not relevant. Top down daily time frame. Below the 55, touch the 50. It's lagging, so we'll call that a test. It's a test of these levels of horizontal support and resistance. That's positive to the left, all H. You know, I feel a little bit guilty comparing myself to BAM Investor, but this is what happens, right? You go out there, you charge a large amount of money for a product, and it attracts people's attention. And then I feel like it's my responsibility to say this is how these things have most commonly gone, right? That's just, I feel like that's much. I feel like it, right? Okay, sorry. Sorry. That's how I feel, right? And it's just the right thing to say. It just is. I know it. I know it might not seem like it to some people, and I don't want to slag off other YouTubers and whatnot, but that I just feel like it's the right thing to say. So you've had this move on that, and within the context of your daily time frame, it's not all that shocking. It is broken your clubbing in above the 8 period, actually, that close, and it is higher than your previous bodies, but it's not significantly, and it's definitely not done anything important. This low being low enough is like, yeah, cool, like, I mean, I could do that, I've already got line, but zero horizontal after the breakdown in there would be where you would test it, as opposed to here. This was the doji that changed things on the daily. Doji lower in here, recovering those, staying. See, this is what also happens when you get, and I talk about things like this with regards to the Bollinger Bands, and I talk about how, you know, closes outside of them followed by opening closes outside of them tend to lead to like trending moves that track that line, and that this line happened to be the 8 period until such times as it didn't, and then it came down and had a very strong test of it before it went through it. And you can tell, like, that's the test, this is the confirmation, this is open and close below it again, and then you're doing it below it on the daily time frame, the 8 period moving average. That's important. Here you've got a positive slope on it, and you've broke through it. So now you're looking for a weekly or daily close opened and above $20, right? That would be nice, and to see that tomorrow would be good for this thing. Drop down to the 4 hour. That's very good. Yes, that's good. Still, again, same story with the horizontal. You got the wick, you close below it. That's not great if you don't then have subsequent positive moves. You'd like to see that though, because on daily time frame you could get a good move off the back of it. You're above the 50 period moving average, so a wick to test that tomorrow at 1903 wouldn't be all that crazy. It would be a big chunk in percentage moves though. And it could then though also give you a safe entry in around 1864 would be fantastic. Anything above 1923 would be not that terrible. What does that say? That's Indonesian. Have I missed other ones? Monster Buddy. You see. See, now I do feel bad. Monster Buddy, I'm sorry, and thank you very much. I said at some point during the stream, I said sorry to you and Hassan, but I can't remember when that was now, if it was near the start or in the middle or anything. I can't remember. So if you didn't see it, there's a message to you in the stream. Open, and thank you very much for that donation, my friend. And you are a friend. 1923, yeah, that would probably be where you get it. I mean, you might get in at like high 18s, and then you want to see opening closes above this 55 on the 4 hour time frame. On the 1 hour, you're above the 55, open close here. It's not a doji, it's not bad. That was all right, especially considering you had this positive move during the day, and it could have subsequently gone on lower. Held by the 55, a little bit of a wick. Okay, not bad. Starting volume, perhaps, right? That was this. This was here. Again, right? There's enthusiasm for this on these time frames. It's showing it in the momentum, and you've got positive sense on the RSI. This is looking okay. I kind of like this at the minute, actually. Usually doesn't do so good after that, one of those big moves. Here you go. 8 period up at the 50. That isn't meaningless, but the price action touching the 200, dropping down to the 50. If it can consolidate here again, like I say, in these levels, if it can manage to maintain these levels, it will try up again. And the levels it goes to, if it breaks that 200 and all there, the $22 and spot 90, the level it goes to there, if it starts opening 4 hours up there, never mind, like maybe even if it opens an early and if it opens and closes an early above the 200 period moving average, right, and we'll say hourly and not a doji, then yeah, it's going to go to $30, and that's nothing, and that's not really nothing. This will be a good move. And within this actual pullback here, you need to capture that by that area touched in. As you can see, it's a 236. It's also the 200 period moving average on the 30 minutes, but it's a 236 on every time frame. It's at $24 and it touched that and it came back, and you want to see it open and closing 1 hour above that. When you do, you'll get a move. It might even be up higher. That's your 382 there. Sensible to take profit there, probably 50% based on how this has performed recently. It's in downtrend, lower highs, consistent lower lows. I'd take that. Still, we would be within structure. I'd keep maybe 33% of it, take 20 of that at the 0.5 and leave a little bit on for managing up here if it could get to the golden pocket, at which point I'd definitely get rid of the rest of it and expect some sort of a retrace at the very least to the 382 if it got up there. If it didn't get up there, then perhaps back down to the 236, at which point would it even hold? I don't know. This is in a permanent downtrend when you look at it over like the weekly time frame. Sure. Maybe not, but actually drag it back and you're like, yeah, it's all lower highs. Like, this is again just more lower highs, especially when you get rid of the wicks. And you're like, bodies lower. It's just hoping it's turned a corner with this. So that's the long, and that's the. But then when you're at this weekly, you're like, I don't know, like, mate, I don't know. That it has to start opening and closing above that 2179, and if there's a long period of not doing very much, then I don't know, right? And if it doesn't at least get to the 3, even if it gets to the 382, this could be some sort of a bull flag, and it could come back and test this long run in support on the weekly time frame, and I'm half expecting it to do that looking at it now. And that coming in at 618, that'll scare people through, Also, that's this level before your breakdown here. That's interesting, eh? Might take that. I'm gonna just. Thanks. Yes. I just want to maybe have a look at this. This is interesting. So, that's NEGG. Across the time frames was a decent entry, and perhaps this continues. It's also the only way to trade this at the minute, above the 200 on most things. It's the only way to trade this at the minute. Otherwise, it's not a trade. It traditionally isn't a short to offer, right? So what was the other ones? Titatikikalika. It doesn't see my name there. King Jimmy, thank you, Mr. Buddy. Thank you. Tradespotting. NEGG was a baby squeeze where all the shares had to be bought under a new cusp. Oh, yeah. Wonder what effect that'll have then. This 236 and failing. You want to keep an eye on that if that happens. 4 hour. Well, let me see. What would be these levels back beyond here? 618 there's a full 618 retrace. Take it all the way down. If all that positive news has gone, well, that might be that. Maybe that is it then. That's the way to trade this. After an open and close above 24 on an hourly time frame, especially on a 4 hour, then you could go on a long and you'd probably take it up to 41. And what's wrong with 100% move, right? You could wait for that if that was your entry to take that. Otherwise, it could break any of these levels on the way down. Though the momentum's dying off. We'll have to see what the momentum to the top side's like on this thrust, which has started. It's just not actually put in any sort of a low yet. And that's your first stage, and that's the only way to trade it for me. Otherwise, you're waiting for a dodgy, cheeky fucker entry down here and that, and you're playing it with a manual stop, or you've got one there, you've got actually an entry and a stop as well. If you do get this 618 retrace beyond the golden pocket, you could put in your stop down here at like 913. You could enter at about 1030 and look to retest these areas. At that point, you'd have a different 6, would be somewhere around here. You'd have a 236 at this previous level where you probably broke down from, and that, in which case you'd be trying up again for $16, and that would be another 50-60% rise. So definitely possible. Me and San are always behind you till the end. Well, shame on me, because I'd let you guys down, and thank you very much, Monster Buddy. You're appreciated. Jamie, Stupbro, you're always my hero. Nah, guys, your own hero, especially people like yourself who withstood an argument with me and are still now my friend. Thank you very much. Remaining stocks, TTCF and Liquid. TTCF. TTCF. Tattooed Chef Inc. Of course that should be a massive, huge company. Of course it should be. Right, weekly time frame. interesting. So obviously this is a weekly time frame, but it would suggest that there's a degree of volatility coming in, and that volatility is likely to be within the average true range, and that average true range is quite clearly defined. I mean, these candles, when they're trending, are so freaking obvious, they're nearly Heikineshis. The top of that level's in around 22.98, and the bottom of it at the minute is in around 16.67. So this flash is going to disappear. This volume has not been enough to maintain the trend. You have had divergence between this high and this high, negative. You've also had then subsequent lower highs with a touch of negative divergence on this one. And trap below the 8 period sitting on the 55, but I expect you to come down actually and test the 1640 when this disappears. You've not got really much positive momentum on the top side, and your downside, while not putting in as much, was a convergent higher low. It's just actually crap thrust strength, and as the trend has died, every part of the trend is dying. The top side, the downside, and the measurement of the strength within it is all crap. You've just had a positive flick on the DI minus. No, that's the DI. Let me see. The DI plus, that's a good sign, but they're coming in for a kiss again. You'd rather be above the DI minus if it's a DI plus, but they're kissing. Positive slope, that's a good sign, right? It usually is from these levels or around there. Let's see. If this doesn't flux, if it goes through like that, you've got a good move. So I expect what will happen is prices will drop and they'll come back to where they are again. That's what this indicator says in the weekly. Let's go down, down, down. Daily time frame, auto, hitting 200 period there, cut below it, above the 50. Yeah, sure, dink, dink, dink. You want to open and close above that. $20 again. This is one of those $20 ones. Open and close above there, please. Pretty please. You're still got your so many reasons. At 200 is important, and so is this level here. You want to get above there, or else this thing's going down. Don't see any reason for this to go up much, even past here. Got earnings coming in at the start of August. When is that? 5th of August. Far enough away, but series of lower highs, higher lows. Is it a pennant? Very similar to SOFI, except it's been around a different amount of time. This isn't fantastic that it didn't from this. This is a lower high, unfortunately, and so it makes it hard to define this after this point as a significant uptrend, really, because it's a lower high, and this then being, before this is formed as a higher low, you're then in questioning if this is going to come in and form a higher low. When it did it, it was higher, but the RSI was lower. There was there wasn't the same signal on the MACD, but there was enough on the RSI to give it positive divergence just on that, and that alone took it back to the top of this triangle. But like we say, that's a lower high, so it's a period of flux, it's a period of consolidation within that. That's really significantly spends much more time down, going down, this RSI, than it does as it was back here in its period of like price not doing much. It was still actually always trending up in significant percentages at the time. Then when it started that one down, and it was like that was out of the normal for it to even below the center line, was out of character for it. And then all of its positive move happened. This is where most of the strength left, and since then it's been weaker with a higher high but lower and divergent, and that's not great and not great. And that's so much more powerful than anything you're seeing on the bottom of that, and it looks dodgy. You've also got a period of volatility coming on daily as well as the weekly and 4 hour. You've got loads of it. Shoot up to there, back to where it is, and then back to the bottom. Probably sticks within the range, but within the range means it could go to 22 at the top and then higher. Could go to 23 in a bit and still not be breaking out of this. Be a fake out to the top side, and it could do the same fake out to the bottom side at 1650, 1667 or thereabouts. So this has got a bit of volatility coming up, and it's dodgy. It's the sort of thing you want to take a trade after that's past. Depending on what sort of instrument you're trading, the volatility is going to pick up soon. What does it look like here? Wow, this is busy. Positive. Trapped by the center line. Trapped. That's below the center line when it's doing this. I expect that'll be a bit tougher, this one. Maybe it does try down again. Even on the short term time frames, you're getting a 1986. 19.86, and maybe lower highs, lower lows. This is like downward sloping channel, really, isn't it? Within this. And it's likely you see this in at around 1750 again, 1777. That's where you're looking to. You're looking for a positive bounce there. You could take an entry there, a stop loss here at 1661. You could look and see if that was going up. I'm not recommending this trade and wouldn't be taking it myself, but I'll draw it on so that if I come back to this I can see how it worked out. That's what I'd be looking at with a take profit there and a stop here. It's a 5-to-1 trade. That's perfectly reasonable. It's within the range that this thing is set out. It's likely that it tries something like that, and you at least get this 20 bucks sort of area afterwards. Or if not there, then we'll look to the 50 and 200 period moving average, which could be around 1950 or whatnot. And at that point, you might want to move stops up, if not take profit. So that's how I'd play that if I was gonna, but I'd be waiting to see how it plays with this volatility playing out on the. As you can see, it's probably going to come in there 4 hour, and this isn't necessarily it's not volatility indicator. It's just an extra thing that's built into it. And it gets it also on the daily, and on the weekly, it's also got it. So some moves come in, and that'd probably be one way to take advantage of them. Alternatively, you could just get a straddle on this at the minute and laugh all the way to the bank. Will you do TA on BX Maxwell Labs? Well, I've got one other thing left, and I'm actually wrecked. And now I've been on for, it is what time? 10 o'clock. So 3 and a bit hours at least there. There's a riddle on GME Jungle for possible FINRA cycle of reports that falls on the 3rd of every month till December. Section 3138 shows the Treasury's debt report and federal bank's info. Interesting. We'll have a look at that. Cheers. There you go. Good work. Thank you very much, Master Buddy. And anybody else wants to check it out, there's a heads up of something interesting. Tradespotting. Will you do TA on BX? Gotcha. I will, but I've got one more one to do before it, and then I'm going to have to go Macho Labs. Because I'm exhausted. Oh shit, I'm supposed to see Rocky actually. Well, what is it? What's the other one I've got to do? And then I'll jump in and quickly do that, or I'll just quickly give you like a 5-minute look at the BX now, like a super 2-minute quick look at it, because I said no more earlier. And right, very bullish move there. Very, very bullish since that drop. Very, very bullish. Due for a turn bound. Due for a drop. This. It's due for a drop, so it is. This is due for a drop. This is due for a good drop there. You see it at the 236 at 56.42. That's a 50% drop in the price of this thing. Why are you saying that, Jimmy? Well, you're right at the most oversold you've ever been. And you've always turned around before that, and this has been around since 2007, so it's old enough to say that that means something. Your ADX is now stronger and higher than it's ever been. Normally, when you get to this level, which you have sort of, every time you turn around, it goes down again. The trend changes. The DI negative couldn't be any worse off. I know we're looking at the weekly, but the negative couldn't be any worse. That trend's not going anywhere positive. Bad news on this because it's been doing so very well. And so I'd avoid this for now. I'd look at it again when it got back to $56. I'd even actually take a fucking short on this. Who the fuck are Blackstone Group Finance and Investment Managers? Oh, I see, it's you guys. Yeah, I'd well take a short on this. I'd be looking at a short on this for a good fuck off move too. You could enter it there. I'd expect some fuckery, so I'd probably even take a little chunk on the top there. See, fuck you guys, I know what you're up to. Stop loss just beyond it. I'd happily take a little bit of a loss to short these pricks. Pardon my language. And I'd be looking at 56.42. And that'd be a great move. Yeah, I'd take 90% of my profit probably there, and I'd keep a little bit in case it got completely screwed down at the 618. That comes in at $15. Yeah, so I'd be looking at that. Now, there isn't anything screaming at me that that's going to happen. It's likely that it does bounce at the 236. That's also be testing these important moving averages. And on that note about important moving averages, we've talked about the 8 period. It's sitting on it now. It's been tracking it a while. Open and close below it. That trade would be on. You'd look for a wick back of it. I'd enter it on that, especially if it was like a bearish wick and the candle ended up being bad. Close bad. Fantastic. And I'd take it down. I'd look for that area at the 50 period there and the 55 exponential as possible areas to manage your exit strategy. But it could easily go on wick really quickly down to 200 at the $57 area or beyond, in which case that would be quite a good trade. I see you've got lots of good signs about this, so the uptrend may continue. That would be a positive retest and come up, and after that putting in some sort of divergent or lower second high, or a lower second high with then a third high that was then in between the two, but itself was very divergent. It's likely how these sort of things play out when they're topping and rounding and falling over, and you'll get a double top or a triple top or something like that. And I'd expect this sort of thing to roll over and retest these sort of areas. And it's to its own detriment is its success that a move back there would be so significant percentage wise. But that's the way it goes, and if your charts aren't naturally oscillating with the market, this is the way that they probably should do. If you yourself have got fund managers and you're using stock operators and you're manipulating the information you put out there, then it's quite likely your chart will just keep doing this sort of shit until it has a huge correction. Thank you. I and my family of 8 appreciate you, and Rocky are simply the best. Paul D, family of 8. My goodness. So that's a huge family. My dad had one brother, 2 sisters, and that made it to adulthood. My mum had 3 brothers and 3 sisters. And obviously mum and dad, so that's like a lot of them too. 9, I think they beat you, but my family, just me, Rocky, my dad, my mum, and my big brother. So 5 of us. That's a huge family. Thanks for the $10, Paul B. You're a legend. It's really appreciated. One of them isn't very old. I bought a cracker and I had to do the liquid as well, right? Liquid, so I can live after this liquid and not die. LICD. It's not here. Am I spelling it right? Godspeed. You've been working overtime. Thanks, Banana Freeze. Thank you, everybody. Lick LCID. It definitely is LCID, and I'm typing it in wrong. LCID. Up 0.5%, 22.75. Look at these charts. Right, TA on this chart. Just warn you, it's not going to be particularly useful. You've got no volume here. You had volume that said no fucking thanks. Since then, you've not had anything to say that they've closed those positions. Maybe little bits of them, getting bored with the price action there. But not, I mean, you could add all that up and I'm sure it would go close to that. We've got one fib on this and that's all that matters. You've come in, you've gone beyond the 6 golden pocket, you've recovered it there, but you've only gone back up to the 50%, not much beyond it. If you open and closed above it, never duck below it again. Trend continues likely. Trend likely continues there, come back. You'd expect to see this come down to oversold after putting in that type of formation there. 1, 2, 3. Possible head and shoulders drop down to this area at least. What's that? If it breaks below $17, it's going to $10. And if it can get back up above 23.31 and it can hold that on what, let's see, daily isn't enough, so that's not high enough for it to get. Gonna have to break its previous resistance. Let's see, that comes in above the 0.5, 35.55 across on the left. Here's what I'm talking about. So it's going to have to get above there before I'd even go fucking near it and along. If this looks horrible, it's got a gap that it could fill should it do that, and that'd be your trade to take. Anything beyond that would be greedy, and then if you got the risk management for it, not really, crap trade this. Really, unless you're already in it, in which case, it doesn't look great to me. There's your 200 period moving average just showing up, and it could bounce off that on the daily, and I expect it's already tried it once, so maybe it does. And then you've got this area coming in here, you've got opens and closes and so on. This is relevant, this is an area it broke up beyond here, this was important at that stage. So here, breakdown here, tested it there, tested it there, tested it there, tested it there. So you get 2066. If you want to go long on this, you've got 2066. It's your 200 period moving average on the daily, and it's a reasonable entry. You've also got a good stop there, because if it goes below 1960 or 1950, it's fucked again. It's going right down to 1717. Why hold it for that loss? That'd be stupid. If your trade was before it, let's just get rid of it. And if it drops below 17, then it's fucking fucked. It doesn't look particularly good anyway. This stuff here, like that, they're fabulous, yeah, fabulous. But without any sort of a test of trend or nothing, it's not giving yourself any levels, and people are going off this one. Because it's like a horizontal that comes in with a 618 golden pocket, but it's already broken down below there once. It came up once on what, class B bullish divergence there, not fucking much. Then it came up 1, 2, 3, put in a divergent high in the middle. This is now rolling over again. That's a triple top with a divergent one in the middle. I could also call it head and shoulders. If it breaks below the neckline, which is also this 236, which is done, the measured move on it alone takes it down to not pretty, down to there again. So your entry on this for a long, and it's even then probably just a bounce, is 1717 with a tight stop loss, 1650 or something, and that's what you're looking for going long on this. And even then it's a shit trade possibly, but I'll draw it in. Not that the computer will give a shit, it'll just get rid of it like it does with everything I do here. And then if in that bounce there, you'll probably take profits back again. Like, you can get a tight stop loss, then maybe it's still a trade worth taking. Yeah, like over 5 to 1 there, and you're getting up to the 236. Stress that again, but you'd probably likely take profit at this low support previously, and comes in at resistance. It's 4.2 to 1. That would be another area to take profit on this, and that's not bad, right? But you'd look for the right things to come through at the time, and those right things might either be a good positive SPY signal in your MACD, based on all the things I talk about with the MACD signals and what they mean, how to take them. I'd like to see this completely different. Rocky Outcrops DMI, there's a period of volatility coming in here too, and I don't predict it being that very good. I think it'll be bad for it. I think it'll be very bad for it. After that, it might come back up again, and that would be your trade, right? It comes down 1740, bounces back up to $23, and that's the trade to take on this. Anything else is throwing money at nothing. And even that, you'd want to manage it with stop loss, and that's liquidated. Let's liquidated. Did I draw that trade in? Where is it? It's there. Yep. And there might be more on it. Obviously, these are the levels to manage your risk at. That is the TA for today. Completely fucked up the TA for busy people thing, eh? So let's just touch back on GME and look at it quickly. I can't. I'll just put that clip out with the fucking charts over the end of it and cut out the end of it. But then I have to edit the fucking thing. I'll just put it on there. People get the value from before I put this. It was all extra stuff anyway when I put that thing on. Okay, so that is it. Whew. Have I done it all? I think I've done it all. Where do I get the credits? Isn't that one? It's this one. And I've missed loads of chats because I've been going through doing the work like that and only really getting to what you're saying in between time. So maybe not having the conversations that I would normally have liked to have had. But now we've got one that I enjoy having, the credits. Thank you very much for all your support. Also, you can donate without fees using the links in the description, which is something I never talk about. Chob44, thank you. Daniel Chasuski, Paul Dooley, Ape Z, Pollerdog, Komodosh, Evan A, Turd Ferguson, did I do one? Preetham7, Rob Davis, Amber, Eddie Brock, Chris Sweeney, Monster Buddy, Paul B. And then look at all those new subscribers as well. Fucking awesome. Leslie Little Eagles, I like your name. Cheers. Look at that. Julie R. RPA-C. Now that is confusing. And there's a Russian. Welcome. And Miminsky 18, Sergeant Bologna. Nice. Doomslayers. Aram, the Wall Street Destroyer, SWW7033, and Awkward Loan, you legend. Long time viewer, Awkward Loan. Thanks so much for all of you guys for supporting the channel, helping me, and I hope that there was value in these things we covered today. And as usual, you'll see me tomorrow, Friday, where we'll cover the weekly close. I'll update you again on the new schedule for next week, where things are getting even more effort being put in. And we'll talk about Max Payne. We'll talk about the week we've seen. We'll talk about what's likely to happen next week. We'll cover all the day's price action, and we'll touch on GME, AMC, and anything you guys would like me to take a look at. I'll try and do it in a way that benefits your tradings. But none of this is, of course, financial advice. Thanks for doing BB, and thank you for being the best, along with Rocky on YouTube. Paul B, you're welcome. It was Amber or Simone, I can't remember. It was Amber asked for BB. So you've got Amber to thank for it. One of them isn't very old. I bought a Cracked set. It was ages ago. Thanks, Tradespotting. David P, Tradespotting, you're a legend, sir. David P, you're a legend. And thank you. And as you are such a nice guy, and you do have you're now a moderator. There you go, David B. You've got now the responsibility on your shoulders. And it's like everybody else I say, and I think, David P, I think you're a really good dude, eh? And that's not from anything in particular. It's just the way you do your shit. I think you're a nice dude. And I'd love for you to be able to help other people. So now, David P, you've been given that, let's call it a trial run at the 8 Melod, and would like to see it when you're available. You don't have to do anything. It's like, for example, with Luke and Daniel and Case and Frostcrest and Rocky and Ape Andy and Melod Butt Cheeks. Holy shit, I better not have missed one of my moderators. That would be unforgivable. And it's to help other people. That's the job. That's what we're doing here, to help each other. You're all helping me. Case Guy, you helped me so much. H. Jones as well. Yes, she's in the list. She is. Let's get her. Where is she? Where is H. Jones? She went off earlier. See, she went off earlier. Probably because she's got work or tired or can't give me every hour of her day. Where is she? Where are you? No, I could find you afterwards for sure. I'm not going to go back through millions and hours and hours and millions of hours to get there. I can't get any higher. Can't get any higher. Try watch the bros streams, but work has been murdered. Keeping the faith though. Eddie Brock, thank you so much. Watching the bros streams, and now a member of the GME family. And well, fucking brilliant, Eddie. Fucking brilliant. And there's actually 3 or 4 people called Eddie here. And all these are rock solid fucking guys. Thank you, all the Eddies. And thank you, everybody else. Thank you, everybody who supports and helps. And everything everybody does. These are all legends. Paul B, your big family. Hope you have a nice day. I hope everybody has a nice evening and sleep. What stock is this? This was liquid. Oh, maybe I'm reading old messages. I probably am. Yep, I definitely am. They're fucking ancient messages. Right. Okay. I serve only for the people. There we are. Look at these amazing people. And it's true, we're all funny and you're all good dudes. Girls, soon to be included. But, yeah, helping people's the name of the game. And thank you. Please take a look at Discord message tomorrow morning or before you head off to bed. I will, Case Good. I'll take a look at it now. Oh, or when I'm supposed to see Rocky, but it's now too late to probably do that. No, I'm coming to you, Rocky, right? Put kettle on, yo. Put the kettle on, Rocky. I'll see you briefly. Eddie Guerrero is the best Eddie. Yeah, is that Eddie Guerrero? Is he from Triple X or whatever it was? What were they called? Triple H? I can't remember. Was that guy his guy's band? Thank you, Jamie. You're welcome. Wilfrick, you're on the verge of being a moderator yourself. It's the way I feel about all these. I'd think he's all moderators, but then who would you be helping? You wouldn't know to distinguish how to help anyone because everyone else is a moderator and you're all trying to help each other. Look, Sword, are you in Discord, mate? Are you in Discord? I'm a liquor star. This is also difficult for the moderators to speak to each other because they're not all necessarily in one place. So, but if you do need to, I can organise a round table meeting and put you in touch with each other in different ways. But you definitely don't all want to burden each other with work. You're all just helping each other. That's what it seems to be. Rarely in Discord case, but I have access. Awesome. Good news. Good news. Good news. Awesome, everybody. You're all awesome. And rest assured, I wouldn't have made somebody a moderator if they were going to do your head in. Everyone here is good people. The good people. Please take a look at that. Okay, I will do that, Case. I will do that. And thanks, Case, you're a legend. Chapters Works. Long-suffering chapter maker, Case. Big thanks to you, my friend. You've done it on so many videos now, and you must have helped literally. I mean, I know just from the likes or comments I've got, it's hundreds, but there's thousands of people who have liked what you've done and appreciated it. So, and I'm a big one of them myself. So, thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. See you tomorrow, right? See you tomorrow. Of course I will. See you tomorrow.